Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Chapter. Obi-Wan never told you about your father, did he? Yeah, he said you guys were neighbors when you grew up. Oh, okay, then he did. As if that would have been the line. Obi-Wan and Darth were just fishing buddies. And then they're not like fighting on Cloud City, they're just at a fishing hole.
They wouldn't tell
Darth
you
was
which
like,
fishing hole, though.
Obi-Wan never told you about your father. Yeah, haven't you guys fished together like a dozen times? He's just in the camper getting another rod. What's the secret? Oh, nothing, Luke. I hope I don't cut your hand off someday. How's it going, everybody? Oh, yeah, we're in a good mood today. What a game Saturday night. We'll talk about Leon Draisaitl's incredible performance. Oilers legend, Hockey Hall of Famer Kevin Lowe is going to hop on the show. He'll have some perspective on Draisaitl and the Oilers getting ready for the postseason here. And Kevin's also going to join us. He works with Ronald McDonald House. Very important organization here in Edmonton, and they're doing some expanding. So, Kevin's always been great in the community, so he'll let us know what's going on there as well. We have the Oil Kings getting a split. Hey, that's all they needed, Jay.
Yep.
That's all they needed in PA.
For you.
You can always spin it, right? Imagine if they would have won both.
Ooh.
Oh,
Complete control.
complete control of the series. But they got their split in PA.
They went out and did what they were there to do.
They did what they needed to do.
That's
Get
right.
one. Just get one.
Just get one.
Just get one, bring it back home. We'll talk about that and some other WHL storylines as well as the playoffs got underway over the weekend. Jay has another featured series that he's watching that we'll update as well. And NCAA into the Final Four. The control bracket is doing well. And there's been some good games. There's some comebacks, near comebacks. I've enjoyed watching. And I find this too with the NCAA. Jay and I were talking about this off air. I wonder how everybody feels about this. Like, unless you really, for some reason, have a favorite team, it's the ultimate, I'm just going to veg out and watch a sport. Like, this morning we were all talking about it, but did we really commit anything to memory from yesterday? Were any of us like, oh, I'll never forget that? It's just like, yeah, there's a sport on. It's fun. I filled out a bracket. Probably after next Monday, I won't be able to tell you who won the whole thing.
Yeah, you just want the exciting moments.
Yeah, it's the ultimate. I think it's the ultimate. Just you're chilling out watching sports, but you're not. I mean, even of course you want your bracket to do well. Most of us.
By now, for most of us, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, or if you're doing well, you probably know, okay, I'm going to win some money.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Like my buddy Mark that runs the pool in Calgary. I'm second last out of 23 people. The people at the top have separated. So, the person who's in first, maybe they drop down to third and they get $50 instead of 150. Right? So it's like, it's not as if you're like, oh my God, that cost me thousands of dollars. I mean, for some of you, maybe some people are gambling that much. So,
well, I was going to say, like a good, Elite Eight game on a Saturday afternoon is great gambling. I mean, you could put $5 just on the halftime over totals, right? Just to follow along with it.
Just fun, yeah.
Because you don't care. You're not vested in who wins, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, we have, obviously, Mike, the Michigan fan, who...
Well, he's no longer vested either.
They're not going to win. So.
Yeah.
Well, we have some side bet, I guess, that he's set up.
Oh, right.
So I think we just watch in the ESPN thing. So, yeah, I hope you're doing great. Survived the snow over the weekend. It's certainly... I think it's quite warm coming up on the weekend. Are we going to hit double digits eventually? In next month, in April, because April starts tomorrow, next month, people will be golfing. That's nice to say.
That's preposterous to think of right now.
Jasmine in the Nasty Chat says, positive Reid. Oh, just you wait, Jasmine.
Yeah.
The show is young.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I haven't been totally beaten down yet.
Stay tuned.
By the 3-hour show. And we're also excited because a lot of great camaraderie here at Edmonton Sports Talk. I was telling you, like, this is such a great place to work. Like, everybody's so passionate about their jobs. Everybody wants to do a good job. And we're very, we all get along well off air. We have our own little fun things we do throughout the day. And tonight, like, here's the thing. We have a staff meeting. Everybody has to stay late. Nobody's upset. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, we all get to hang out together. And it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt, I should say, that the CEO, owner, and mentor, Dustin Nielsen, or Justin Nielsen, as I somehow call him, he's bringing in food.
Yeah.
I believe him and Marshall are catering it, him and his son. No, maybe not.
Hot dogs and mac and cheese, boys.
We might be getting Popeyes, which is pretty cool. So that's good.
I was hoping Popeyes. Now, I think originally he was saying that he was just, because he knows, well, here's the thing. He loves you. I think you're the golden child.
I think he loves you as well.
Yeah. And so he really wants to take care of Reid's needs. And you've turned into Mr. Popeye's chicken sandwich guy. Everybody knows that now. So I think it was going to be Popeye's chicken sandwiches, but I think he's going to bring in it all. He's going to bring in the chicken pieces.
Yeah. I think he's going to get a 2-liter of Coke.
Well, yeah. He did ask how much spiced rum we have around, though.
I found it odd that some people found it odd that I said we should have a 2-liter bottle of pop on hand at the last staff meeting.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because there's a beer fridge.
Well, true.
That's why.
But not all of us. As much as I enjoy the beverage of beer, I do not partake at work, or very, very rarely.
Well, then there's water and there's bubbly.
Yeah, but I just thought it'd be nice to have, and we have the little disposable cups. Someone just pours a little splash of Coke to wash down their drink.
It is a refreshing beverage.
Certainly is. All right. We have a really fun off-topic topic coming up. We're going to get to that at about 3:20 for William Huff. We, of course, are bringing you the headlines here for Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program. Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level. Perfect segue, hitting another level. Leon Draisaitl Saturday night. Remember when I was worried? Okay. I wasn't worried on Friday. I was presenting an unlikely yet possible worst case scenario for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes.
And one of them, it involved that Draisaitl, Ekholm, and McDavid are all either out or playing well below 100% for the rest of the season. Well, Leon Draisaitl, he may have found a level. He took it to 11, so to speak, to quote the Spinal Tap. I just thought, Jay, obviously he got the 2 big goals, but it wasn't as if, Leon did nothing and then he scored. It was Leon was driving the pace, setting the pace the entire game. And I know he scored 4 goals in a playoff game and had hat tricks and scored 50 goals before. I think that's one of the best games I've ever seen him play.
And do you think this is one of the best years you've ever seen him play?
Probably, yes.
I mean, it's everything. It's not just putting it in the back of the net. It's playing at a different level. And you wonder how much of that is, because we talked about it on Friday. Okay, how long is Leon, who's as we knew, Coach Knobloch said if this was a playoff game, he'd play. In fact, they could all play. But they're resting those that need it more. Leon was the one that was going to be able to come back sooner. How long is he going to sit around and watch this? Until he says, no. I got to put my name on this.
Yeah.
And he did, emphatically.
Well, and look, we can't ignore that one of the storylines for the Edmonton Oilers this season has been, on the whole, and I think both these guys are maybe better the last month or so, but the storyline last July was, Leon's finally got wingers, Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson, right? And then until recently, neither one had been consistently productive. Arvidsson missed that chunk of games with an injury. He played a lot with Pud Colson, who I respect his effort and what he does, but he's not a finisher. He's not to me a top 6 talent. And he's played with Perry, at times. Like the other guys have cycled through there. And despite most of the season not having very prolific line mates, Leon Draisaitl has still scored 51 goals. right? And has still carried this team and come up big over and over again. And that's why I think, I mean, to me, he's my heart pick. I know we have, you and I don't vote, obviously. I know we have Winnipeg Sports Talk viewers who are going to say Hellebuck, and that's fine. I mean, you probably should advocate for the guy in your city, but it's just over and over again. And of course, McDavid's a great player. And of course, in years past, he's done it, and I'm sure in years future. But more so than ever, the Oilers need a big play. You're saying it's got to be Draisaitl. Even now, I know McDavid's not playing, but I feel like even when they've both been in the lineup, and you're saying to yourself, somebody's got to do something special here, you're almost leaning towards the likelihood that Draisaitl is going to do it,
which is not normal. It's usually Connor that's doing Connor things. Well, Leon's just been doing it for all year, and I think, like, honestly, the couple times that he's come out after McDavid, he's been there, McDavid's not. It's been a different level, like you said, level 11 of Leon Draisaitl. I mean, what he's doing is fantastic. I mean, four-time 50-goal scorer. Got 50 and 51 Saturday night. Yeah. And I know you got some numbers on that.
Before I get to that, we're going to crunch the numbers for Gallo LOP. I just want to go back to an ongoing theme that I have talked about this for years. I'll probably talk about it the rest of my career, hopefully many more years. And I've told that story about the Oilers farm team coach saying that players have to either have or learn to have or work themselves into having that screw you attitude. And to me, Leon Draisaitl is the ultimate. Sorry if this language is a little offensive, if there's any younger viewers, but Leon is the ultimate screw you player on the Oilers. Not that other guys don't have that. Certainly McDavid has that, Nurse, Ekholm, a lot of those guys. But I mean, look at how he ties the game. He had 2 2-on-1s against Dustin Wolf, where he was shooting from a better position. And then he gets the shot, the pass from Bouchard. And again, that's the risk reward from Bouchard. I mean, he throws that pass right along the red line almost. It could have been picked up, but he makes the pass. And then Draisaitl's in and not shooting from as great a position as he was on his 2 2-on-1s. And what does he say? Screw you. I'm better. I'm going to beat you. And then in overtime, with a little more time to size that up, I guess, because it kind of turned into a 3-on-2 because Huberdeau got back. But we were watching that today, and I said to you, man, he was further away from the net than I remember seeing it the first time. And he's still just off the post. Like, that's just a guy, hey, everybody, watch this. I'm going to put the puck exactly where I want to put it.
Yeah.
And this hot goalie, young goalie, hey, good for you, Dustin Wolf. Enjoy your Calder. But I bet you'll remember this night too when you're getting your, like he just has that attitude and that swagger, and that's why he's such a joy to watch.
And that overtime winner, I mean, we watched it several times. It wasn't the hardest shot. It wasn't, it was just the speed and accuracy. He got it off his stick super fast. Wolf was not prepared for it. I believe he thought that was going to come in closer to the net. I mean, that was above the dot. That was not a close range shot. And bar in, I mean, he took over. And that's a great way of putting it, is screw you.
Yeah. Well, you felt like I compared him to Michael Jordan after the game. And I know it's different because in basketball, you might play 90% of the game. But it almost felt like he was on the ice the entire, or you're just waiting for him. Let's face it. The Oilers were not great without Leon on the ice.
No.
And I know, I'm sure we're going to get well, what about this line? Okay, I get it, everybody. There's flaws on the team, but I think today is a day just more to say, like, this guy's incredible. Yeah, we're going to crunch some of the numbers for Leon Draisaitl for Gallo LOP, Chartered Professional Accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LOP. If you'd like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow, visit their website, gallolop.ca. See how Gallo LOP can help your business grow. 6 overtime winners. So the Oilers have 12 overtime wins, which is a lot, and we've talked about that if you redid the standings with the 3-2-1-0 point system, they would actually drop a little bit, but they don't. So Leon Draisaitl has 6 goals and 3 assists in overtime. So he has figured in on 3/4 of the Oilers' overtime winners. The other overtime goals scored by Oilers players this year: Ekholm, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, Brown, Nurse, and Bouchard, all with 1 each. McDavid doesn't have one. Game-winning goals, three-way tie for the franchise lead. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Glenn Anderson. Oilers all-time overtime goals for crunch the numbers for Gala LLP. Draisaitl, now it's not an apples-to-apples comparison because of 3-on-3, but Draisaitl has 19, McDavid 16, Curry now a distant third with 7. Well, I know I asked you this earlier. Fun fact, do you know how many regular season overtime goals Wayne Gretzky had as an Edmonton Oiler?
I couldn't believe it when you told me.
It was 1.
Incredible.
Because it didn't start until, 83? So the first 3... So the year he had 92 goals, there was no regular season overtime. And then it was 5-on-5, right? So... Even still, you thought he would have more than one. What did I say, like 40? You guessed a pretty high number. Yes, you guessed a very high number. So anyway, those are some of my numbers for Gala LLP.
Unreal. Yeah, and okay, this is an interesting one. I asked Koob this earlier. He's the 15th player to reach 50 goal mark 4 times.
Oh, wow.
In NHL
Do you have
history.
the whole list of 14?
I can get it. He's the 4th player born outside of North America to have 4 50-goal campaigns. Who are the other 3?
Born outside of to have 4 50, Pavel Bure? Oh, do you have it? Okay. I need 2 others.
I'm not like one of the listeners that'll ask a question and be like, I just wanted to know.
And we're like, oh, tell me, yeah. Okay, so Pavel Bure, Yager?
Nope.
No, he didn't get to 50 enough.
He did it 3 times.
He did it thrice. As the kids like to say.
Thrice is nice.
Curry. Gary Curry. Should have got him before Bure. So one other one.
He's kind of in the news right now. Sports news.
Oh, Ovechkin. Jeez, I feel like I did it reverse order of how I should have got it. Yeah.
He's the 9th player.
Because I start going back to the 70s and 80s or stuff like that.
He's the 9th player to record 50 goals, 50 assists 4 times. 19th career overtime winner, tying Jagger for second most by a player born outside of North America.
Oh, wow.
Ovi has the most with 27. And as we talked about, he broke the NHL record for most overtime game-winning goals this year with 6. Now, you did say, who's the player that has...
Sebastian Aho has 5, so he could get there as well. But it's... and it's interesting now in overtime, right? Because usually it's line A for a team, line B, and then they go right back to line A. So it's not as if it's a 3-line rotation. I think from seeing a lot of overtime around the league, you try to get the first line right back out there again in overtime. So
remind me later. I have some stats that might make an argument that Leon is not as valuable to his team as you would think.
Well, we can do that during the Oil Understood or buying or selling.
Sure thing.
Or whenever we want, really. It's our show.
Wow. Yeah, I guess it is our show. Yeah, sure. Mostly yours. I have a little bit of it.
I think you think it's yours as well, buddy. All right. By the way, we are in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Canadian Brewhouse. Craving a quick bite? You might be a vampire. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong read. Craving a quick bite? Try the Canadian Brewhouse Express lunch. Served in under 15 minutes or it's free. Try the ribeye smash burger or turkey club sandwich Monday to Friday until 2 p.m. All right. We are going to get to our off-topic topic. If you're taking in the show on YouTube, click the thumbs up button. Let's see where we can get to today. Let's get to word of the day territory.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
Let's get to let's get to our first plateau. Actually, if everybody clicked right now, we'd be in double word of the day territory. So don't delay. Get in there and click. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can text us at 780-218-9999. The inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. We have a very moving off-topic topic when we get back.
Reid.
22-year-old Damon Kerfania has signed a 2-year entry-level contract with the Oilers, and the left-handed defenseman from Ohio State is second on his team in defensive scoring with 28 points in 38 games this season. And the playoff race continues. The Flames and Avs drop the puck. Seattle hosts Dallas. The Wild challenge the Devils, and the Preds meet the Flyers. Elsewhere, the Rough Riders have extended CFL All-Star Logan Ferland to a 2-year extension, keeping him with the team through 2027. In the NBA, Kevin Durant is out at least a week with a left ankle sprain. The Phoenix All-Star suffered the injury last night against Houston, and with 8 games filling the schedule, the Rockets take on the Lakers. The Kings and Pacers tip off while the Nets battle the Mavericks. Female NCAA Elite 8 action has Minnesota and Florida tied at 13 nearing the end of the first quarter, and baseball has Toronto facing Washington. While there's 2 games live right now, the Red Sox are down 8-4 to the Orioles at the top of the 9th, while the Phillies hold the Rockets 4-1 at the top of the 8th. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Reid and Jay continue the show after a quick break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
2 guys and a goalie.
www.hot-dog.org. Do's and don'ts. Don't send a thank you note following a hot dog barbecue. It will not be keeping with the unpretentious nature of hot dogs. Don't bring wine to a hot dog barbecue. It's beer, soda, lemonade, and iced tea being preferable. And don't ever think there's a wrong time to serve hot dogs.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
UFC 314 goes down at the Canadian Brewhouse on April 12th. Watch every knockout on the most TVs with epic food and drinks in the best atmosphere. Don't miss the action. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
All right, thanks, Coop. Zachary Kubish. Our technical producer and sports update deliverer. Today on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. I'm Reid. He's Jay. Thanks a lot for joining us. I mentioned YouTube. Keep giving us the thumbs up there as well. I know a lot of people tuning in on the iHeartRadio app, on the TuneIn Radio app, or through EdmontonSportsTalk.com. However you are consuming us, we thank you. And we're doing our part to keep building the station and promoting the station. Do your little bit as well.
You know what? If you're driving and you obviously can't give us a thumb on YouTube, just next person you drive by, give them a thumbs up. Tell them they're doing a good job.
Or, as you're pulled over for thumbing up your phone, just say, hey, officer, when you're done giving me the ticket, here,
would you mind?
Subscribe to this.
Can I see your phone?
No,
It'll only take me 2 minutes.
Mr. Babcock.
Hi-oh.
You can't. Keep giving us a thumbs up on YouTube. Like, subscribe. favorite, whatever it is on all the other apps. And don't forget about podcasts as well, because I know a lot of people will listen after the fact, and make sure you're actually subscribing or favoriting those podcasts, because I think then you get a notification or it just comes up as saying, hey, here's something you got to listen to. We appreciate all that, because we're working hard to build the station, and that's just the teeny little bit we ask you to do as a listener or as a nasty.
And hello,
as, some of you.
To the future.
Hello.
What would you tell yourself 6 hours from now? Shouldn't have had that last piece of chicken.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I would tell myself 6 hours from now.
Shouldn't have went
what
for
would
the
I
second
tell
chicken.
my future self? I don't know. No, what would my future self tell me?
Yeah.
What would I tell myself 6 hours ago?
Yeah.
So what was that, 9:25 this morning?
Yeah.
I'd say you just make sure you really take note of Tom Gazzola's beauty. That's what I would tell myself.
Same thing I was going to say.
But then I did it, so it's all good. Somebody was asking about regular season overtime. So in 83-84, the NHL went to a 5-minute, 5-on-5 regular season overtime with a tie if it ended. 1999, they went to 4-on-4. 05-06, the shootout came in. And then in 15-16, they went to 3-on-3, which is probably the greatest rule change of all time in the NHL.
Absolutely.
If not, it's up there.
They might add to that and increase the period length.
Yeah, I saw some quotes come up on, I don't know if I was on Instagram. It seemed like there were some players who still thought, well, we don't want to, that's enough. But then I don't know. I mean, is 7 minutes enough? Is that sort of an odd number to add?
It's a
to
weird
game?
Number.
7.5
anybody
minutes?
would go for
I don't know.
You'd have to go to 10. But
and you know what I would do if it went to 10? Leave it in a tie. Don't do a shootout.
Probably win. Then that would make it more important to get it done.
Yeah,
in the overtime regulation.
Yeah, I mean there'd probably be 10 ties a year, maybe total. I don't know.
Think of what that would do to the points totals.
Well, very little. Well, somebody would not be winning, so there'd be a few fewer points handed out, I guess. Yeah, Leon Draisaitl, we'll talk more about him throughout the show. Kevin Lowe is going to join us in about 12 or 13 minutes. And Kevin's doing some great work with Ronald McDonald House, but of course we'll touch on some Oilers topics with him. Oil Kings playoffs. So the Oil Kings play tomorrow. We will give away some tickets probably in the final hour of the show. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to see them play Prince Albert tomorrow night. They got a split in the first two games, and their head coach, Luke Pierce, is going to join us. Did you get the moving done over the weekend?
Yeah. Mother-in-law, we moved her out to her own place. She's moved. She's in. We had supper. We had lunch there yesterday, actually.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, she made chicken noodle soup. We walked over and had lunch together as a family. It was lovely.
This leads us into our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. So Jay and I got talking about this, and I think for most people, the term moving inspires dread. Maybe not inspire. Now, for a lot of people, moving is exciting. Hopefully you want to move. You're moving to a place you want to live. But we're talking about the physical process of moving. Not the feeling of, 3 months from now, I'm going to be living in my dream home, which is cool. We're talking about moving in terms of that needs to be packed. That needs to be packed. Do I want to move that? Do I throw that out? I should recycle that. I don't know who the hell to call about it. Do I have enough boxes? And who am I going to help? Who is going to move? Who is going to carry most of my things that I can't carry alone? So we were thinking about the off-topic topic. Well, this is how it started. At what point in your life, whether it's age-related, or maybe it's income-related, maybe it's the size of your home related, at what point in your life should you just hire movers and not ask friends or family? Or at what point in your life, if a friend or family member asks you to move, do you think to yourself, why are you not getting movers? Like, I have helped you before, now I'm old, or I got a bad back, or you know what I mean? So that's sort of where we started with this.
We started there, but then the list started happening. And I think we can call these the rules of engagement for moving, for the process of moving. So at what age, like you said, is it just, okay, buddy, hire movers? I'll come over one night and help you unpack the boxes, maybe. But no, I'm not, I think that's plus 50. I think 50 plus. I'm going to throw that number out there.
Well, thank you.
Good.
So I should never be asked to move by anybody.
If I'm asking you to move, that is, I mean, I have family. You know what I mean? Like, those people owe it to me. Right. They're almost obligated. Family members probably fall outside most of these parameters and most of these rules of engagement of what we're going to go over. You're stuck with it. So, and then you got to talk about the person who's moving. Okay, if let's say you get called.
Yeah.
You say, okay, Billy, I'm going to come help you move. And then you show up there and nothing, it's half packed.
Oh,
like I'm turning around and going, I'm out, Billy, peace. I'm leaving.
Right.
You ain't getting any. I'm not helping you pack your utensils and cups.
Right.
And your plates. No, Billy. The rules of engagement suggest that should be done prior to me even entering the scene. Don't be Billy. You had
so when I was in Lloyd, often you might help somebody move or help half move or hey, can you show up for an hour and just help me with a box or a couch and a chair, right? Like I did a lot of that. And in Lloyd, there was this apartment complex that was probably 10 or 12, like 3-story walk-ups, right? And a young lady I worked with was moving from one to another. So you kind of had to cross the courtyard, but it was probably, I don't know, a couple hundred yards maybe. So my buddy and I showed up and we're like, okay, well, we'll help you move. And we're there at 9 and we're thinking, probably done by lunch or just after, like how much stuff can she have? We're just walking across. Well, she had a lot of stuff we found out. And it, like you said, not entirely packed. So she had all these boxes up against the wall. And we don't have a dolly or anything. So okay, that's a lot of boxes. And then we're kind of getting hey, we're almost done the boxes. So we're kind of hinting at okay, you're going to dismiss us. And she's like, yeah, well, there's stuff in the bedroom. No, there isn't. Nothing's
in the drawers.
Nothing's packed in the clothes in the closet.
Oh my God.
So we did it for some reason. We just were carrying clothes on hangers across just a lot of loose stuff and just a lot of unpacked stuff. Oh, just whatever, throw it in a box. Oh, really? This breakable thing? Yeah, just okay. And we were just at the point hey, if this breaks, too bad. We probably should have just left at lunch and just said, yeah, we got plans this afternoon because that was really frustrating.
That was a Billy move. Don't be a Billy.
Yeah, don't be a Billy. So I would say if you're asking people to help you move, you better be packed and organized.
Be prepared.
And have the moving van or trucks and saying, okay, this is going there, this is going there. The stuff that's unpacked, I'll do that on my own later. Right? Or you know what, that's going to the dump or recycling. I'll handle it later.
Or you know what's the worst, Reid? Try being the guy for the last 30 years of my life that everybody knew I had a cube van. Everybody knew that. Oh,
hey, you got a cube van?
You got a van? What? Can you come help? Saturday night we're gonna move in. We get possession Sunday. That stunk.
Yeah,
I know. I moved a lot of Pandas basketball players. I'll tell you that. That's how much I love my wife.
I think kind of once you're into ownership.
Okay, then this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is from Adam in Quebec City. Off topic.
Oh, hey, Adam.
Whenever you buy the real estate in which you're moving in is when you hire movers.
Sorry, say that again.
Whenever you buy the real estate, into which you're moving is when you buy your home, you're not renting, you're not moving from apartment to apartment. When you buy your home, movers. That's what he's suggesting.
That's probably a good, and I mean, in university, you're living in a bachelor or a 1-bedroom. You probably have a couch and a chair. You probably have a smaller kitchen table.
You could probably do it in your buddy's pickup.
Right.
You
got a bed.
Yeah, this is a different, but if moving house to house, movers.
If someone asked me to help them move, I would probably, if it was someone I was close enough to or a family member, I'd be like, I'll help you, but have you thought about hiring movers because it's probably worth it?
Yeah. We're going to screw up. We're going to wreck stuff. That's just how it's going to go.
And there is a point, I am not a big guy, and people who've seen me know that. If you're watching on YouTube, these arms are as scrawny as they look.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that as an excuse. Like, I will help, but I think it's also
unlimited.
Who are you asking to help move? Like, if you want me to move a couch, that is not a Reid moves the couch. That
Reid
might be a
says no.
2 or 3 person couch to move.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and when I moved almost 2 years ago, May of 2023, I moved. I hired movers. It was 3 guys, and plus they know all the tricks.
Yes, they do.
Like, they know how to balance. They're used to how to grab stuff, and it was very efficient. And like, it's not $8,000.
I was just going to ask if after knowing what you spent on it, was it like
yes, it was,
undeniably worth
it was a few $100.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was under 1,000.
Oh my gosh!
Now, I was moving within Edmonton,
so still
I moved
that's
about 30
value.
blocks, but still.
But you had to box everything up prior. They didn't. They just moved boxes, right?
Boxes and furniture. Yeah.
So when we unloaded, my mother-in-law had everything boxed. Everything was done right. So all we were doing was moving them in. My one brother-in-law was on the inside cracking boxes. It went very smooth. But preparation is key. And you got to feed the dogs. You got to keep everybody involved, even the movers. You know, it would be a nice gesture to, hey, order in a pizza or something. They don't want to sit down and have a big meal, but maybe a slice of za on the way back out to the truck.
Well,
offer them a bottle of water.
You got to compensate your friends somehow.
You have to.
Like, at least with a pizza or a
And I'm saying keep the alcohol out of it.
GC or whatever. Like,
beer should maybe come late.
Yeah.
But water, proper hydration, and food.
Yeah.
You know, like we had snacks on the go, kubasa and crackers. That's all you need. You just need, because you don't want to waste time either. You got to grab and go.
But I would even say, honestly, maybe I'm going to be earlier than most people. Once you are into your 30s, start hiring movers. You know, your friends are busy. And again, the property is maybe getting larger. There's more possessions. You know, do you really need to tie up people for a day or two helping you move? Just cover it. You're buying the house anyway.
Reid,
Spend
if
a little
you're
bit more
saying
for
it was
movers.
under $1,000 and you don't have a small place, like you know, it's not a massive place, but it's not small.
But I got stuff.
Yeah, you
from
got
over
a lot
the
of
years.
stuff.
Like, I got stuff.
You got bookcases.
I don't know
and
if I need
shelves
all of
and
it, but I got
computers
it.
and TVs and a massive dining table that's a custom. I mean, there was stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you could do that for the under $1,000. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Now, it was within Edmonton move,
and you're not putting your friendships on the line.
I got my cousin's husband to help me move my comic collection, and I got 3 people together to help me move because I have a custom-made dining room table, and I thought I'll move that on my own. I asked 3 guys to come. It was about an hour, and they all got a 6-pack of beer.
Nice. If you moved again, not suggesting you are or will, but let's say you moved again, would I be on your phone list?
I would not ask you to help me move.
Why?
Because
done
I'd
it my
hire
whole
movers,
life.
baby.
Oh, you would hire, but you just said you had your friends take your table.
Oh, if there was like one thing I needed to move, yeah, I probably would ask you.
I'm good with a roll of tape.
You're
too.
good with one thing.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the off-topic topic.
More than that.
The rules of engagement.
What
for
are
moving.
your rules of engagement for moving?
Yeah, who helps? Should you be asking for help? At what point in your life do you just hire movers and not help? What is this about a deal with Rogers? We'll check into that. And Kevin Lowe is coming up after the break. This is exciting to have Kevin on. Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
.22-year-old Ohio State defenseman Damon Kerfonia has signed a 2-year entry-level deal with the Oilers, with the left-handed shot being 26 in Big Ten scoring this season, recording 28 points in 38 games. And a light slate has Calgary hitting the ice in Denver, the Wild and Devils going at it, the Stars battling the Kraken, while Philly hosts Nashville. And in New York, the Rangers have signed 23rd overall pick Gabe Perreault to a 3-year entry-level contract. In 14 games around the MLB, Jays face the Nationals later tonight, and 3 games have wrapped up. Orioles beat the Red Sox 8-5, and the Royals stomped the Brewers 11-1. Right now, it's just Colorado and Philadelphia at the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies trail 5-1. On the court, Suns all-star Kevin Durant is expected to miss at least a week with an ankle sprain he suffered last night against the Rockets. In 8 games on tap, the Thunder and Bulls clash. The Clippers take on the Magic while the Jazz and Hornets hit the court. Meanwhile, female Elite 8 action has Minnesota up 30-24 on Florida, nearing the end of the second frame. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca. We have a quick break before Kevin Lowe, Oilers legend, joins Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses, chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. Oilers traveled today. Most of them. What is it? McDavid, Ekholm, Stuart Skinner. Who am I missing? Did not make the trip. 8 o'clock game tomorrow. So we'll have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. 4-game trip here for the Oilers. Yes, Sportico reporting that the NHL and Rogers agreeing to a new 12-year television deal worth $7.7 billion US. That's about 11 billion Canadian. It would kick in for the 26-27 season. So we'll keep an eye on this one. I don't think Rogers has officially announced it yet, so I'll say reported by Sportico, and we will keep an eye on that. Always great to catch up with this gentleman, Hockey Hall of Famer in the Edmonton Oilers Hall of Fame as well, because he's got his number retired. It is Kevin Lowe making his first appearance on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. Kevin, you and I have known each other a while. That is my colleague, Jay Milne. How are you doing?
Hey, doing great. Always great to see you, Reid, and Jay, nice to meet you. Glad to be on the show.
Well, thanks for making time for us. I know there's some incredible stuff going on with Ronald McDonald House, which we are going to get to, but I think I got to start with the headlines. I'll just kind of leave it open. Like, that performance by Draisaitl, Kevin, on Saturday night, to me, that's just a game he just seized it by the neck and had control of it really the entire night, and then he finally got the 2 big goals near the end.
Well, it was like an $11 billion performance. The television money the NHL is going to get going forward. It's because of performances like that the NHL can command that type of dough from the television networks. But yeah, so great to see. I was actually talking with Lanny McDonald today, because Lanny and I are co-chairs of the Ronald McDonald House capital campaign here in Alberta. And Lanny brought up about Leon's release. And Lanny had a heck of a release too, but what we both concluded is that Leon's release is quick, but it's also, he's got a really heavy shot too, right? Which, those 2 goals he scored, that goalie's playing great for the Flames, and he looked at his spot and just blew it right by him. It was, and the first one particularly, where the puck went up high and stuck under the mesh there, that was just a treat to watch. We're so fortunate to have, we have a good team, potentially a Stanley Cup winning team eventually, but to have those guys, McDavid and Draisaitl, is just really, really a treat for Oilers fans.
And you obviously, played, coached, managed, or just have observed players like this. But to me, Kevin, obviously they're all elite athletes, and I know they're all alpha males to make the NHL, but that want to seize the game, and you probably saw it from Gretzky or Messier. You had to have it yourself, maybe in more of a mean defensive type of role at times, but it's you have to have that personality that you want the shot, right? You can't shy away from being in the spotlight, and that's what is so amazing to me about Leon. He's just to me, how much responsibility do you want me to take on? I'll do it.
Yeah, no question. That's a big part of those types of players, their DNA. But if you think all those players, as they grow up as athletes, and in Leon's case, he grew up playing in Germany, and he would have been the top player on his team probably every year he played, and then when he would have played for the Germans internationally at the youth level, he would have had to be the guy. And then he goes to Prince Albert, and then gets traded to Kelowna. He's in the spotlight all the time, and so not that it makes it any easier, because you have to deliver, but those guys are used to delivering, and as they climb up into the bigger leagues like the NHL, they expect to deliver, and he's got all the tools to do it.
Oilers legend Kevin Lowe joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. 5-time Stanley Cup champion. You've got a lot of experience in the playoffs, but I wanted to ask you specifically about something that's going on right now in Edmonton. Obviously, McDavid, Ekholm, Skinner, they're not with the team traveling to Vegas. But it has also been said that were this a playoff game or game one of the playoffs, that they could play. So it's a bit of a load management question, I guess. I wanted to go back to when you were playing. Was this something that you or any of your teammates would have done leading up to the playoffs to make sure you're ready to go?
That's a good question. I'm talking to another former Oiler today, Mark Messier, and he said it's the best thing for the Oilers. It's they're pretty much locked into a spot whether they have home ice or not. But when you ask the question about load management, so the answer is yes. We wouldn't have done it, in terms of being super healthy, taking a bunch of games off. If you're healthy, you played. In Connor's case, and Matthias and Skinner, they all have injuries. So they could play if it was a playoff game, but they are injured. So you got to get to 100%. I remember in I think it was '95 with the Rangers. The last game of the season, that particular season, the Rangers won the Cup the year before. We weren't the favorites to win it in '95, but we're certainly being defending Cup champs. We were. And Brian Leach was an all-star defenseman, great defenseman, and it was going to be the first time in his career to play every game in the season. He'd always been injured, and the Rangers had a road game in Florida, and of course Mark Messier and myself, the old guys, they left us at home, and we tried to convince Brian not to go. Because really, I get it. He wanted to play 82 games or whatever it was, but the trip down, and of course we weren't even thinking injury. And sure enough, he blocks a shot and he cracks his ankle. I mean, that's a little bit of bad luck, but in terms of these guys right now, if they were 100%, I bet you they'd be playing. But as Mess said, it's great that they, even though they are a little bit injured, hopefully not too drastically, that this time off, it's not just the wear and tear, it's the psychological fatigue. Every time all three of those guys step on the ice for the Oilers, they have to deliver. So if they're just watching the game, they're cheering on the team, but it's a big difference when you're sitting at home watching or even if they're going to travel with the team now, but and not playing.
Well, and you know what's the beauty about live radio and having a chat here, and everybody can tell you when you make an error, which I obviously did. I know you've won 6 Stanley Cups.
It's okay.
But five with the Oilers.
That's
what I was alluding to.
We don't care about the other team.
Yeah, the Rangers, right? So what I wanted to follow up with that then is would you say it's more important to go into the Stanley Cup playoffs hot or healthy?
I'd say healthy. With a bit of a caveat there. The Oilers have lots of experience now. They've got tons of playoff experience, and I know Connor and Leon and those players. I see them from time to time, but I don't hang out with them. But I just got the sense that all those guys desperately want to win a Stanley Cup. So the question of whether hot or healthy, in this case, I'd say healthy, because they'll be so fired up, they'll dial it up in game one, and it's not going to take them, even if they didn't play a game between now and then, but I suspect they will. But to your question, it depends on the age of the experience of the team, but I'd always say a healthy 100%.
Yeah. Kevin Lowe joining us this afternoon on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. Okay, we love the hockey talk, but we gotta Kevin. You've always been incredible with Edmonton, with the city, with the community ever since you became an Oiler. And I know you want to tell us a little bit about some exciting stuff going on with Ronald McDonald House. So is it expansion? Is that what's going on here?
Correct, Reid. Yeah, and thanks for the time. It's really important, and the Oilers of players, partners, and families, and the whole world legion, I guess, oil country, have always been so great at helping out different organizations. And so Ronald McDonald House has asked Lanny McDonald, as I mentioned earlier, to be co-chairs of the capital campaign. So it's both houses were built in 1985, so this is the 40th anniversary. The houses, of course, the province is in these cities are triple the size that they were back in 1985, and we don't have facilities big enough to handle the need. I think the recent stat in Alberta's Ronald McDonald House has only been able to serve 14% of the need. And for the people that don't know about Ronald McDonald House, it's an incredible home where families of children that need pediatric care that are typically live remotely, or 95% of the time live remotely. They just can't afford it. They can't, especially in this day and age. I heard you guys talking about moving costs. If you live up in Grand Prairie or Fort McMurray or Fort Mackay or whatever down south in Lethbridge, and you got a child that has to be at the top hospitals, at the Stollery here in Edmonton, for instance, you're looking at, and they're going to be in the hospital for weeks upon weeks. The costs associated with that's what Ronald McDonald House does. It alleviates the element of the economic element and difficulty the families have, and also, which is really interesting, if you ever get a chance to go there, and believe me, you can, if you go to Ronald McDonald House Charity Alberta.org and go on the website, you can learn all about it. You can see where you can donate. You can see how you can also volunteer, which is super cool. But anyone, I would encourage every person that's listening to this at some point to get familiar with Ronald McDonald House. It's such an important cause in our province, and for instance, I was just there a couple months ago, and there was a lady from up north with her child. Her child had been in there for a year. You imagine the costs associated with that, but the good news was they were going to leave the next week. They were finally okay to leave. So this is it's a capital campaign going on. I mentioned the website. You can go there and donate. There'll be other things coming up. We're just getting going here at Edmonton. Calgary's going to open their doors actually, so they're ahead of us, and they started the program earlier. But we're kicking off now. This is we're going to be raising money over the next 2 to 3 years to get the new Ronald McDonald House built.
You know what? I'm going to read you this, Kevin. We have our chat here on YouTube. This gentleman, this user goes by the name of Scooty from Wainwright. Having stayed at the RMHC recently in Edmonton while our daughter's cancer treatment was going on, we can vouch that needing a new house is necessary. It is great, but the house has done its time. This is a great endeavor. So, yeah, you come on and, people have been affected and have used it. So, rmhcalberta.org. So, more info, and I'm sure there'll be more coming out about fundraising or how people can help, or even just be a volunteer, however you want to help. So, that's awesome stuff, Kevin. And I know, you and I have done a lot of interviews now over the years. I was lucky. You were never the GM when I was on Ched, so we always just got to tell stories or talk about all the great causes you've been involved in. But I've just always found, like, you did it. You don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. And from your era, Oilers, Elks, or Eskimos as they were called, like that, like it helps, right? Like it helps bond with the city that you're not just there playing the games, like you're out in the community, and you and so many other people, athletes, you've been part of that era of guys who've done that.
Yeah, thanks, Reid. It's an honor, first of all, to be even asked. It's Jean Beliveau was my idol growing up in Quebec, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was just specifically that. I mean, if anyone, it's an honor to be asked. To be in the position for someone to ask you to do something, to put your name out there, that it actually means anything. How can you say no? So, and this city's been amazing for me, 45 plus years. Still living here, still looking outside at the snow on the ground. But the nice thing about playoffs just around the corner is that spring is here, and it's always a fun time of the year.
Kevin, it's great to have you on. All the best with Ronald McDonald House. Again, rmhcalberta.org if people want to check out more. Thanks for telling us about that. Thanks for the hockey talk as well. Hopefully it's a long playoff run and we can get you on a couple more times.
Hey, Reid, anytime. And Jay, don't worry about the misstep. It's okay. It's just a rounding error, 5 or 6. It doesn't really matter, right?
Thank you. Kevin, we'll see you soon.
Take care, you guys.
Yes, that is Hockey Hall of Famer, Oilers legend, and 6-time Stanley Cup champion, Kevin Lowe.
He seemed unfazed by it.
Well,
he did allude to it right after
he did, yes, he did allude to it, but I know somebody jumped in the chat right away. But he got 5 with the Oilers.
It's 5 with the Oilers.
Yeah, you could have said 5 cups with the Oilers, but he did get that one. That's not bad, eh?
Not bad.
6 cups, that's not bad. No. Decent career. Hockey Hall of Fame.
Jeez.
Numbers in the rafters. Still what Kevin would probably agree with this. Still one of the best lines ever was Mac T when they were retiring Kevin's number. Mac T says, "This is a pretty big honor for a guy who was the 7th best player on his team and 2nd best athlete in his family."
That was
only
a good
Mac T could pull that off. Yes. That was pretty good. But we love having Kevin on. Great perspective on, because he was around these guys that made a lot of big plays in big moments like Draisaitl was doing. And I loved how you said, you want to be hot or do you want to be healthy? And he said, well, healthy generally. I mean, you don't want to go in 0-12 or something like that. But so maybe, I mean, we'll find out in about a month or so, but maybe I
think a younger core, maybe you'd want to be hot.
Right.
Get going in there on a bit of a heater. But this crew's been there, done that now. I think this is now, and they said this from the start of the year, Reid. That was one of Connor McDavid's first availabilities when he said, you don't win the Stanley Cup in September or October.
Right. Which is, I think, the previous season, part of the reason that they stumbled out of the gate is they were so hyper. Mm-hmm. They'd lost to Vegas and they're coming back like, okay, we're a contender. I'm not saying that they were comfortable during the tough stretches this season, and there could be, a few tough games in the 9 remaining. They're not going to catch Vegas. So now I think the question for a lot of our listeners is, and we'll talk about this as we go along too, how desperate are you to have home ice advantage against the LA Kings? Will it make a big difference? With LA's home record this season, if LA had the same home record as the Oilers, you might say not a big deal.
Or regulation losses all year.
Yeah,
at home.
We'll find. I mean, Ekholm has not been right for a while,
right?
And my concern there is that he doesn't get right till the fall. Leon seemed fine.
I think he's okay.
I'm optimistic that McDavid is going to be okay. We'll still see about Stu Skinner, who's as we've talked about, hasn't been quite what we've hoped for throughout the season. But always good to get Kevin's perspective because he's been through a lot of those battles in the postseason. All right, we got to take the 4:00 break. We got the Oil Understood coming up for GCL Diesel. If you're on YouTube, clicking that thumbs up, baby.
The Lock Shop.
I'm kind of with you that I think St. Louis probably locks down the 7th spot. And then assuming that the Jets can hold on to number 1, we could have Winnipeg, Minnesota in the first round.
How good would that be for you guys?
Absolutely hate each other. And for Jet fans, I mean, it's a 7.5 hour drive down to Minnesota to make that happen. And as much as people might not be planning on traveling to the States, that might change things very quickly.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
A one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your fan game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your fan game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
.22-year-old Damien Kerfonia has signed a 2-year entry-level deal with the Oilers, and the left-handed defenseman from Ohio State is second on his team in defensive scoring with 28 points in 38 games this season. And according to Sportico, the NHL and Rogers Communications have agreed to a 12-year TV deal worth $11 billion Canadian, which kicks in for the 2026-27 NHL season. Meanwhile, the playoff race continues. The Flames and Avs drop the puck. Seattle hosts Dallas. The Wild challenge the Devils, and the Preds meet the Flyers. In the NBA, Kevin Durant is out for at least a week with a left ankle sprain. The Phoenix All-Stars suffered the injury last night against Houston, and with 8 games filling the schedule, the Rockets take on the Lakers. The Kings and Pacers tip off, while the Nets battle the Mavericks. Baseball has Toronto facing Washington tonight, and 4 games have wrapped up. The Twins lost 9-0 to the White Sox. The Royals beat the Brewers 11-1, and the Phillies took the Rockies 6-1. Out in Moose Jaw, the men's curling championship has Canada and Scotland tied at 3 apiece in the 8th end. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. The ESTV is active. Curling. What is it? What do we got? Is it 3-3 in the 8th?
That's correct.
The bug just went. Canada, Scotland. Scotland's usually been good at curling, eh? Who was it? David Murdoch? Is he the guy? I don't know if he's the skip this year. I didn't even look. Yeah, Canada, Scotland 3-3 in the 8th. So we'll keep you updated on that one. I don't know if I've ever seen a lemon lime ring combination.
I think it's for their sponsor.
Yes, the rings are the 12 foot is a dark green, and then the 4 foot is a very limeish green. So it's not, there's not really any lemon. It's just different colors of lime.
Makes me want a key lime pie.
It is a key lime pie.
Have you ever had a key lime pie?
Yeah.
I don't know that I have.
I only a couple times I've tried it, and I've tried key lime ice cream. I can't remember where I got it. It was like too limey.
Oh, maybe
might have been from Kind.
Kind.
Yeah, I think it was
I
Kind.
know
Had it
that's always
last summer, the summer
brought
before.
up.
Yeah, it was actually a little much. It was a little much.
Little rich.
Yeah.
Reid, we've had a lot of conversation about our off-topic topic about the rules of engagement when it comes to moving.
For William Huff.
10- writes, I will admit, when I was 22, I asked people to help me move when I was half packed. Won't do that again. He was guilty.
Yeah, if you're only half packed, they should only help you with the packed stuff. And then you can't re-ask somebody. I don't think. It's like one ask per move, right? Hey, can you help me move this Saturday and next Saturday? I'd be like, pick a Saturday.
No, that's outside of the rules.
I think that's outside of the...
AJ, he's in the throes of this right now, Reid. We need to give AJ some advice.
He's currently moving.
Well, hey guys, love the topic. I got asked to help someone move, but really don't know them that well. Basically, a friend of a friend that I kind of know. Should I tell them to pound sand?
Yes.
Yes.
Like you can't be asked to move secondhand. Like
no.
If you just met somebody, no way.
And that person ought to know better than to ask a secondhand friend.
See, that's the thing. People aren't polite and they don't know the etiquette.
Well, AJ, it's in your best interest to stand your ground and just say, no, bruh. No. You don't even have to give a reason at that stage. If you're a friend of a friend, just simply say no. You don't even have to come up with an alibi.
See, and that's what I'm saying. There are situations, and I believe it gets, this is more pronounced the older people get. Now, look, I don't have kids, but you have kids. Okay, so somebody asks you to move, right? And they say they give you a week and a half's notice. And you sort of have a thing with one of your daughters that day, but you wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have to, but you'd sooner be a dad that day. That. Like, you shouldn't put somebody in that situation, though. Like, that, just get movers. Respect that people have other things going on in their life. Yeah, you're all 21 in university and you work at night at the night shift at Blockbuster or bartending. Fine. Ask your buddy to move at 2 in the afternoon till 6, and then he goes. But other than that, like, people have other things going on in their lives.
Yes. And if they don't, that's a rarity. And
yes.
You'd hate to take that away. Right.
And I even think there are other things to, okay, where are you, apartment building, elevator, no elevator. That makes a difference.
Huge. Who's got the dolly?
Like, to me, you shouldn't be asking to do something that could injure somebody or wreck their weekend because they're going to be sore carrying stuff. Maybe I'm a big baby. Well, I think people know I'm a big baby, but you know what I'm saying.
Barry the Cheater says, I will always help Reid Wilkins move. As long as he speaks in the voice of the bookbinder, I will lift anything as heavy as it needs to be for that man. Perhaps I could even get a Paul Stanley scream to make my afternoon. And then he does ask this question. How many books in total does the bookbinder own?
Well, I've never been to the Alberta Bookbindery. You have, so I don't know how I would know.
No, you're the bookbinder.
How much the Alberta Bookbinder?
You.
I know how many books I own. I don't know how many books the bookbinder owns.
Well, probably not many, because that's not the point of the bookbinder. It's to get them in and get them back to their customers.
Jason Milne, allow me to enter the conversation here, my friend.
Oh, hello.
Yes, the books I bind are indeed the property of others. I bind the books for their pleasure. My own collection is private and limited, yet meaningful to me. But do not confuse the books stacked on my desk as my own property. Nay. Nay, those are books They belong to other people. As I bind them, perhaps a memory of their wedding, or perhaps pictures from a day they moved.
You know those picture books you can get for people?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Is this like a recap of our friendship? No, just that day you helped me move, brah. Oh, that's like pictures of me barely being able to lift a couch. Thanks.
Yeah.
I look terrible.
Yeah.
Although my sweats were halfway down as I was lifting the chair up. Thanks, buddy.
Butt cracks everywhere.
All right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Do we have a couple other things we want to get to? I think we have,
It's funny because I almost spoke on this when we were helping AJ with his situation he's got there. And Penner's Pancake says, next topic for off-topic topics, are long weekend weddings acceptable? And we could go off on
that might be a summer topic.
That might be a summer topic.
There are a lot of topics, Jay, and I think that's better for when the Oilers aren't playing.
Yes.
Because then we might really dive into it. My short answer to that would be no on long weekend weddings.
I couldn't agree more.
Unless it's just you and each other, your parents and her parents, and they've all agreed to it.
Yeah, can you imagine a destination wedding on a long weekend?
Has that ever happened to you? You didn't do that, did you?
I would not go to a wedding on a long weekend.
When's your anniversary? Am I allowed to ask on air?
Yeah, July 21st.
I'll try to remember that.
Thank you.
I may not, though.
July 21st.
Double checking.
Better double check.
It was between the end of February and start of November we got married. I can't remember exactly.
July 21st.
That's awesome.
Pretty sure.
All right. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I have a limerick from Bronco Nick, who's getting quite prolific in his own right. The ESTers are debating moving. Each side have points of proving. Too old to help, my bones are kelp. Play Def Leppard to keep things grooving. Yeah, if I were moving and I was riding in the van with you, you should let the person helping pick the music.
Do anything. Let them do anything, really, within reason.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, they're helping you a lot.
They're helping you a lot. I think helping someone move is one of the most indebted things you could do for the person. So there should be pizza, beer, some sort of compensation.
Absolutely, at minimum.
Yeah. Or next time, or Friday, let's go out. It's on me. Something like that.
Next Friday, not the Friday before the move.
Not the Friday, the Friday after the move.
That might get a little weird.
Now, is it compensation for move? So say I help you move.
Yes.
And you say, Reid, 2 weeks from today, come over, we'll make you dinner. Is that good enough payment? I think so.
Well, but see, here's the problem: I'm asking you.
Well, then
for
you're
another
asking
night.
me to tie up another.
I'm asking you for some more free time.
Just give me some pizza.
Yeah, just feed me.
Just give me a six-pack.
Jackass.
Just
feed me.
Yeah,
feed me.
I'll
have
have
a
be
beer
by myself, Jay.
Yeah. Let me go. Tell me when I'm done.
Free me from these bonds of friendship, these shackles. All right,
we're on decent pace with our thumbs. We need a little push here. We need to get to before 4:30. Let's get to 100.
Click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb.
All right. Jasmine says, I have never been asked to help move. LOL, people know I would be useless. Well, Jasmine, maybe when one of your daughters moves out, Jasmine can help. Your book, Jasmine. Tell your first daughter to move. Yeah. She's got some help.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want my daughters to move out.
Well, that'll be years from now. Maybe Jasmine will bulk up by then.
To stay as long as they want.
We'll give Jasmine some performance-enhancing substances.
I'm not one of those people that are just 18, you're out. No. I want them to stay as long as they want or can.
Well, you even want me to move in, apparently.
Basement's empty now, bro.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law's out.
Oh, Wilkie's in the basement.
It's a little lonely down there.
Are you in walking distance from any brew pubs? Then no, I can't.
I have a cake fridge.
I can't live there.
Well, I do have a cake
that
fridge.
Would be good. Yeah. That might be okay.
And a jukebox.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We could have fun.
We could just leopard it up.
You know it, baby.
We are having a great afternoon. Hope you are as well, joining us here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Yes, if you are on YouTube, don't delay. Click that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. if you haven't already. We bring you the Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood.
Brilliant.
All right.
I always just think of somebody that's a first-time listener. It's just
like, what's happening?
The stream's down.
Did this guy just quit?
honey, is the stream working upstairs?
Oh yeah, I'm sure we had a lot of two-screen households.
Do you know at our house, we have it on all day. I forced my wife to have it on one TV at all times.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I thought you only had one TV.
Numbies, baby. No, now we have upstairs, downstairs, but we just never use the downstairs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But now with my Amazon stick, we're flying, baby. We're flying.
Did you want to do the Oil Understood? Do you want to start? Didn't you have a couple things?
What did we say we were going to do here? Well, I wanted to.
You did a couple. Oh, yeah, but you said you had something else that I didn't even know about. Or maybe that was buying or selling.
No, that's buying or selling. You're going to love it.
See, we can't totally plan everything. We need this element of surprise for each other.
We do talk before the show. Well, no, I just was asking because, I mean, right now, McDavid's out. And I'm not even going to go into the defensive pairings, okay? But we're just looking at the forwards. McDavid's out. Evander Kane's expected at some point in the playoffs. We could either play this game that, okay, he's ready for game one, or just move on from that and say,
we don't know.
There's McDavid and Frederick. Frederick's, by all accounts, probably going to be back
a week or two away, hopefully,
for 3 or 4 of the last regular season games. Who then comes out? I mean, we could even play it as a 2-man game with McDavid and Frederick entering the lineup.
Yeah.
I know one solid bona fide out.
Okay, well, they're both solid for me.
Let me take a guess.
Okay.
Jones and Kapanen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Max Jones is one of those guys, he gives you what he has, but how much does he have? And Kapanen's interesting because he does have these bursts where you think, oh, yeah, he's good, but I think he's not consistent enough. I do think he's a little too mistake prone with neutral zone turnovers. Even that first goal Calgary scored on Saturday night, I mean, that's his guy that was wide open on the rebound. The Oilers had a 2-on-2, and he drifts over to help that and is no help, and then the rebound goes to the guy he probably should have checked.
Yeah.
So he makes little mistakes like that, even though I know he's made some nice plays and got some goals. But yes, if McDavid and Frederick are healthy within the next week or two, and everybody else is still healthy, I'm taking out Max Jones and I'm taking out Kapanen.
Now, do you know or have you heard what the plans are for Frederick? Whether he's going to play at center or as a left wing?
No.
Because that, throws...
I think, didn't Knobloch say something yesterday that it depends whether he's going to be a winger complementing another center or be able to drive his own line. I'm wondering, okay, so here's the thing. Where does Frederick play?
That's
okay, so we don't know once McDavid is healthy, does he leave Nugent Hopkins at center?
Well, that's the big question.
Then to me, Frederick's a winger.
I don't know how you couldn't, given how he's played since that move, that change of putting him back to his center position happened.
Right.
He's been playing much better, much more engaged in the play and as, touching the puck a lot more. So if you keep Nuge there, then you're going to almost have to play Frederick as a winger.
Because I think you'd still want Henrique down the middle. So
unless you take Janmark out of the lineup.
Right. He'd probably be... Now, as we've seen, though, Knobloch has been reluctant to pull Janmark out. But the problem with talking about this is, unfortunately, when you say, okay, well, when everybody's healthy, that if Frederick and McDavid are back in a couple weeks, there's probably going to be another injury or somebody else who's banged up.
Well,
sadly enough,
that's unfortunately the truth.
Yes,
right.
So, but McDavid and Frederick could be back shorter term. Say 5 games from now, they're both back, hypothetically, after the road trip, or maybe McDavid comes back during the road trip. To me, Jones is a no-doubter. Like, he's
more than Kapanen?
Yes. I think Kapanen does more than Max Jones.
Yeah, okay.
But no, you can disagree if you want.
I just, the first, 2 games that Jones was in, he was contributing. It was very good. It was very positive. Kapanen has never really broken through that level. At least with Jones, you've seen it. You've seen it on the ice in a real live action NHL game. Kapanen just,
he skates fast. Jones is more likely to hit, but is he really intimidating or fierce out there?
I just think that Jones would be a better player to have the opportunity given to him in a playoff situation over Kapanen.
Oh, you think? Okay, so you think in a more rugged game?
Yeah, he would fit the pace of play.
We are in the Canadian Brewhouse studio, by the way. Sharpen your skills before the courses open at the Canadian Ice House. Our TrackMan golf simulators are open. Real golf action in downtown Edmonton. Visit us in-store or the CanadianIcehouse.com for more info. We thank the Canadian Brewhouse for jumping on board as our studio sponsor. More of the oil understood for GCL Diesel. Damon Bunting is going to bring you buying or selling. If you're taking us in on YouTube, continue to click that thumbs up button. We just need to rally a little bit here to get to 100 before the halfway part of the show, which would be a pretty nice milestone. Here comes the Coop.
The Oilers have signed Ohio State defenseman Damian Kerfania to a 2-year entry-level deal, with the 22-year-old recording 7 goals and 28 points in 38 games this season, which is good for 26th in Big Ten scoring. And according to Sportico, the NHL and Rogers Communications have agreed to a 12-year TV deal worth $11 billion Canadian, which kicks in for the 2026-27 season. And there's 4 games tonight. Flames and Avs go at it. Dallas hits the road in Seattle. New Jersey hosts Mini, while the Preds and Flyers drop the puck. And it's Jays and Nationals on a 14-game MLB schedule. 4 games wrapped up, including Kansas City smacking Milwaukee 11-1. Basketball sees Kevin Durant of the Suns expected to miss at least a week with a left ankle sprain he sustained last night against Houston. And there's 8 games on tap. The Heat take on the Wizards. The Rockets and Lakers have a date, while Boston meets Memphis. Female NCAA Elite 8 action has Florida down 52-40 entering the 4th quarter. And in the BKT Men's Curling Championship, Canada trails Scotland 4-3 in the 8th end. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. More with Reid and Jay after a brief break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus, shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
It's time for a wing throwdown at the Canadian Brewhouse. Fuego Verde versus Honey Blaze. Who's got the best flavor? Come taste the heat and get your wing fix anytime. Plus 69-cent wings all day Wednesdays. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Join our very own Dustin Nielsen, Trey and Terrell Ford of the Edmonton Elks, and other special guests on Tuesday, April 8th at the Bell in Scona for Edmonton Sports Talks Bids for Kids, presented by GS Construction. A special live on-location show featuring a delicious appetizer buffet, silent auction, 50-50, and more. This year, Kids Sport is proudly celebrating 30 years of making a positive impact in our community. Don't miss out and join this special celebration to help continue to support those in need. Tickets are limited. Find them today at kidsportbidsforkids.com. That's kidsportbidsforkids.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Is this your band?
Yeah. Listen closely. There's going to be a scream right now.
Wow, is that you?
It's me and everybody. It's everybody. We just cozied up to a microphone and screamed.
That was awesome. Is this North Shore? It's all North Shore now. Brody's been deleted.
Yeah, Brody's been deleted.
What was the concert at Rogers Place last night?
Country.
Who?
I think it was this, because I think they were just in Kelowna.
Oh, Bush on April 26th. Who was there last night, Coop?
I know as much as you.
Kane Brown.
Okay. Well, now I'm sorry I asked because I have never heard of that person. So that's country act?
Yep, country act. I don't mind Kane Brown.
Yeah, you know a lot about the country music.
Yeah. He's all right. But I wouldn't pay to see many people, to be honest.
Yeah, nor would I. I'm thrifty.
Well, it's just, do you really need to see them? You know,
every concert.
Well, you would for Def Leppard.
I'd see every Def Leppard concert I could.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd go see Metallica any and every time.
Did you go when they were at Commonwealth a couple of years ago?
No, we were away.
They did different. Was that just this past year?
Yeah, they had two shows, and they had a Friday, Sunday.
And they did different sets.
They didn't play the same song.
Right, and I remember at Ched, we were giving away tickets for that almost 2 years in advance.
Sure.
Yeah, because it was so big. Yeah, I'm going to see Def Leppard in July.
Right here in Edmonton.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'd pay to go see Blue Rodeo.
Oh, neat. Are they still active?
I don't know. Plumber Topher says, hey, boys, 2 points. First off, I would help Timmy Jablonski move any day of the week. Secondly, we're looking at moving in the near future, and the only people we are asking to help move is a moving company.
Yep, I do not blame you. It's worth it.
Way to go.
It's worth it. Jasmine says Kane Brown is actually good as opposed to being phonily good.
Yeah, he's okay. He's all right.
Makes me think of that. Wasn't there a wrestler named Kane?
Kane, yeah. Wasn't he? Didn't he wear a mask?
Yeah, I think he was a big scary guy.
Yeah.
I think I would get him and the Undertaker confused.
Who was the guy that had the sock? That was
like on his head?
No, he wore it on his hand.
A wrestler or a country music artist?
Wrestler.
I think the sock was Lamb Chop. The what was the Shirley? No, who was the ventriloquist that had Lamb Chop? It was a lady with curly hair, wasn't it?
You're speaking a different language right
now. No, okay, yes. You've seen this. Maybe you're too young.
Apparently I am.
Who was
Mr. Socko was the name of the wrestler.
Okay.
Mr. Sock.
And who was the ventriloquist? I believe ventriloquist who had Lamb Chop. Was it Shirley something? And I think Lamb Chop was Sherry Lewis. Thank you, YEG Bear, in the nasty chat. YEG Bear, you were truly amazing.
Yeah, it's because it was introduced on her show in Captain Kangaroo in 1956.
Wow. That's not when I saw it, but it was. All right, yeah. Somebody else in there.
Mankind.
Castor,
yeah,
1990.
Mick Foley, that's the guy.
Mick Foley had a puppet?
Yeah. He was actually, I saw the WWE did like 30 for 30 kind of inspired documentaries on some of their stars.
Okay.
The one on Mick Foley's great. He is an incredible talent. Like, he's a great actor. He would put his body on the line.
And he's Canadian, isn't he?
Maybe. I don't.
Maybe we don't know. Mick Foley. Oh,
I don't think
he's American.
I don't think he is. There's the other guy that is.
Chris Jericho is
Chris
Canadian,
Jericho.
right? And he is the lead singer of the band Fozzy, which has some good stuff.
Huh.
Did you know that?
I knew he was in a band.
I have educated you yet again.
I have not listened to it. Well, now I got to go watch.
They got some good songs. They did a cover of SOS by ABBA that's very close to the original. They just a little more electric, but it's quite good.
What kind of a character is Lamb Chop when it's actually a lamb and you're naming it Lamb Chop?
Well, because what
kind of psychos wrote these shows?
It must embrace its destiny. Just like,
Mommy, why is that called Lamb Chop?
Because it's going in your belly. 780-218-9999 River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. The off-topic topic for William Huff, moving etiquette. When in your life should you hire movers as opposed to asking friends or family to help you? Is it based on age, income, house size, quantity of that you have to move, all those types of things? We've had some fun answers on that one. It is always fun to get into buying or selling for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate.
Well, I wanted to just kind of go off the board here a bit, Reid, because obviously there's been a lot of love in for Leon, deservingly so.
Yep.
He's a pretty talented player, but I didn't, I bet you don't know that today is National Tater Day.
I did not know that.
I bet you didn't.
Like home run day or actual potatoes?
Potatoes, taters. I love potatoes. I don't know. I think you like potatoes. I think you'll
not mashed.
Okay, all right. We're off on the right foot then, because I was going to say, given that it is National Tater Day, or they're high in fiber, the skin has it's antioxidants, vitamin C, you name it. It's a very good vegetable to eat. Buying or selling, roasted potatoes are the premium way to experience / eat potatoes.
Well, fries are good.
Well, okay, but
scalloped is okay. A little too close to mashed. I'm not a big fan of mashed potatoes. That's one of the weird things about me.
It's a texture thing for you, right?
It's probably the only weird thing about me.
See, I like mashed potatoes.
I think my mom will text me because she's been cubing potatoes.
Yeah, roasting them.
Yeah, roasted. Yeah,
that's what I like.
A little bit of maybe olive oil.
But then you can put in some broccoli. Yeah, maybe some
dill
carrots,
or garlic or whatever,
onions, and roast it all together.
They're kind of like fries cut up in a way.
Yeah,
they're not deep fried, but. What other types of potatoes? Well, baked potatoes.
Well, there'd be baked,
bad.
there'd be roasted, there'd be mashed, there'd be fried,
stuffed.
Well, baked.
Yeah,
would be baked.
But a stuffed where you redo it, you have the combination. You
like a twice
take
stuffed.
everything out. Yeah.
Yep. Twice stuffed baked, but that is a little bit of a delicacy. I think I don't know how many people you could do that at home as easy. I don't mind mashed potatoes. My dad.
Everybody likes, and I've now eat mashed potatoes a little more often than I used to, but I went decades without having mashed potatoes.
My dad was from Ireland. He came here when I think he was 17. So we ate a lot of plain peeled potatoes. What we would put on them? So you'd take them because there wasn't, you'd have to put butter on them.
Okay.
Right? But then a little HP sauce.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Big HP sauce out.
Yeah, I would say roast potatoes is probably the best way to eat the potatoes. I just don't like them if they're still too kind of squishy and soft.
No, I like a little crunch.
Yeah, I need crunch to the potato. So that's why I would like fries. And with mashed potatoes, yeah, it's generally a texture thing.
Danny T suggests that gnocchi is the most premium way to enjoy potatoes.
Yes,
I do agree. Good. That's a very good point, Danny. I didn't even include them in the big four. But it's like a potato pasta, gnocchi.
Yes. Yeah, it's a pasta.
Okay. So you like roast potatoes?
I do.
Okay. Buying or selling? Round 2.
Oh, wow. You got a lot for me.
Wow.
This is intense. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube, by the way, everybody. We got to push to 100 here by the end of this segment. Don't delay. Click the thumb.
You mentioned earlier that you've been liking the way that Calvin Pickard's been playing in net.
Yes. Well, he played really well on Saturday.
Sure did. So did Dustin Wolf, for the record. He had a pretty good
He
game.
should win the Calder Trophy, I think.
Is there a goalie controversy in Edmonton?
No.
Stu Skinner's still the starter. Because he didn't go to Vegas.
If you're asking me who starts game one of the playoffs, I think it's probably Stu Skinner if he's healthy. I think we've seen with Knobloch, though, he will change if he thinks someone gives them a better chance to win. I think if Skinner doesn't start the playoff series against the Kings well, we will see Pickard in there. If Pickard plays well, if he starts 3 of the 4 on this road trip, we could see Rodrigue make his first NHL
That's what I was
start,
going to
by the
ask
way.
next here.
I think he could play maybe against San Jose on Thursday.
You think it would be San Jose? Yeah?
Well, yeah,
I think
but you also don't want to take any opponent lightly. I mean, San Jose's beaten some good teams. But I thought in the one period that Rodrigue played, where was that, Seattle? He played the third period. He did well. I mean, he got beat on an incredible goal with McCann whacking the puck out of the air. But Pickard had a really good game. Do I think if Stuart Skinner is healthy, he starts game one of the playoffs? Yes, I do. I think that's who they want to carry the mail if possible. I just think that he did it last year for 2 games against Vancouver. He went away from Skinner, and then Skinner came back strong. So I don't think it's a goalie controversy.
Okay, but let me ask you, who do you like to see in net? What style of play do you prefer better? Calvin Pickard or Stu Skinner?
I think Skinner's high end is better than Calvin Pickard's. I mean, we're going to see tomorrow, in my mind, is a big game for Pickard because he played well in Carolina, about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, at the end of that road trip that was almost 0-5. They went 1-4, and then he started the next game against Anaheim. Very unusual for him to get back-to-back starts, and he was pulled after the first period and, let in a couple of questionable goals himself.
Yep.
So I think this is a big test for Pickard. Can he have a good game against Calgary and have another good game against the best team in the division?
It will be a test for sure.
So if he gives the coaches that information, hey, I can play well in back-to-back games, then maybe he's narrowed the gap with Stuart Skinner a little bit. But I think that if he's healthy, they will start Stuart Skinner in game one of the playoffs. And I think that in terms of the coaching staff, he is their preference to have in net because I think that they believe his higher end is higher than Pickard's. We haven't seen a lot of Skinner's higher end in the last, couple of months. But that's what I think of. That's how it seems to me they view the goaltenders.
Fair enough. We do have a limerick that came in from Mike, the Michigan fan.
Oh, amazing.
Your combatant. And he's got something to say to you, Reid.
Okay.
Reid Wilkins, a bracket sensation, beat me with flawless elation. I picked with great care, but he won the affair, leaving me in bracket frustration.
Am I already assured of finishing ahead?
It looks like he is conceding.
Okay.
I've had a hard time navigating that ESPN page.
It's not for a sports website. It's not very convenient.
It's almost as bad as the NBA
find
site.
your bracket.
You ever worked around the NBA site? NBA.com is actually not NBA.com.
Okay, we'll talk about this later because the control bracket is doing very well.
Well, we're going to talk about it next because you're about to get fired up.
I'm going to be fired up about that, and who knows what else. Now, Mike, the Michigan fan, is 103rd out of 109 entries, and there's a little X next to his name. And where is Wilkins Werewolves? I'm 84th, so I'm out of 109. What's your team name called?
Glue Crew.
And see, it's all on different pages.
Well, that's not good.
You just couldn't. Yeah, you would think ESPN would have a better fantasy interface, wouldn't you?
You would think that, yes.
Fantasy interface. That sounds like something out of
it's a good band
Blade
name.
Runner or something.
Be a decent band name.
Or better album name, I think.
Better album name.
Fantasy Interface, the new album from Milne and Wilkins. Glue Crew. I can't even find what is going on.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
What?
That's how bad it is.
Well, I can't. Hang on. Glue. You're not on the last page, are you?
I don't know if I. How could I be?
You shouldn't be.
Maybe I am.
Was it all one word? Oh, there it is. Oh, hashtag Glue Crew?
Yeah, sorry.
You are 94th.
And you're what?
84th out of 109.
Who'd you pick to win?
Duke Blue Devils.
Well, looks like you got me there, pal.
And the control. Well, we'll talk about the control bracket when we get back because it's actually not mine. It is mine and Coob's. But it isn't.
We need to find out whose it is.
By the way, Canada trailing Scotland 5-3 in the 10th at the Men's World Curling Championships. Canada does have the hammer. We'll keep you updated on that one. Here comes the Coop.
22-year-old Ohio State defenseman Damon Kerfonia has signed a 2-year entry-level deal with the Oilers, with the left-handed shot being 26th in Big Ten scoring this season with 28 points in 38 games. And according to Sportico, the NHL and Rogers Communication have agreed to a 12-year TV deal worth $11 billion Canadian, which kicks in for the 2026-27 season. A light slate has Calgary hitting the ice in Denver, the Wild and Devils going at it, the Stars battling the Kraken, while Philly hosts Nashville. In 14 games around the MLB, Jays face the Nationals, Rangers meet the Reds, and the Dodgers play the Braves, with Atlanta's Jurickson Profar being suspended 80 games for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. On the court, Suns all-star Kevin Durant is expected to miss at least a week with a left ankle sprain he suffered last night against the Rockets. 8 games on tap, the Thunder and Bulls clash. The Clippers take on the Magic, while the Jazz and Hornets hit the court. And right now at the World Men's Curling Championship, Canada is down 5-3 to Scotland in the 10th. And this sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton, and Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces next. After the break, I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. Learn more about safety supervision, scheduling, cost control, and most importantly, how to lead a team. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Dan's saying, can we see Rodriguez get a start against San Jose? Yeah, I think we just talked about that. If possibly, I mean, if they go in, especially if they go in and beat Vegas tomorrow. Or maybe you just want to give Rodriguez a start and see what he can do in the National Hockey League.
Well, I think you have to.
I think my worst fears of the weekend did not come true.
They didn't.
Because Vancouver got a point.
Yeah.
That game.
That was amazing.
So when we left, on Friday. It was 3-0 Vancouver.
They came out hot.
Then what was I watching Friday? Maybe I was just watching basketball, and I was looking at the app. Then it's 3-3. Then it's 5-3 Vancouver. Okay. Then it's 6-5 Columbus. I think I got the order right. Someone tuning a guitar?
No, there's trying out speakers.
Then it was 6-6, and then Columbus wins in a shootout, and then Vancouver lost in regulation against Winnipeg, right? And the Oilers beat Calgary. So the Oilers are 89 points, 8 up on the Canucks with a game in hand, 9 up on Calgary. Calgary does have a game in hand, but I mean,
it's over. The wild card race in the Western Conference is over. It's just a matter now of seeding. That's it. Vancouver's not making
Minnesota.
it. Calgary's not making it. It's just a matter of who plays who. Now, the Eastern Conference is a different story.
Well, because Montreal has the spot.
Ottawa's in.
Ottawa's impressive, eh?
That is. I mean, they are 7 points up on the second place wildcard team, Montreal.
And it's looking more and more like Ottawa, Toronto.
More and more.
Still we'll see. Carolina, New Jersey, more or less. Yeah, that's pretty much locked in. But
it's going to come down to that final wild card spot.
And then it could be Tampa Bay, Florida in the first round. It could be some fun first round matchups.
Ooh, baby. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for Winnipeg, though, to get a Canadian team.
Well,
now
why?
It could be Winnipeg, Minnesota. I don't know. Just like the all Canadian matchups. So at least see one of them.
Well, Toronto, Ottawa would take care of that quite well.
Toronto, Ottawa would. Toronto would.
Can you imagine?
Toronto would probably roll them, wouldn't they?
The playoffs. Can you imagine?
Toronto would probably roll them.
Well, okay. Okay, we talked about this
games.
earlier, but I think it's interesting to talk about. But if it's not Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Finals, what would be the ultimate matchup for you?
As a talk show host?
Yeah, I guess for
me to get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco 9281 50th Street. All right, so your question is, if the Edmonton Oilers are not in the Stanley Cup Final, you're asking me for my point of view as a talk show host.
Yes.
Not as Reid Wilkins when I go home and read comics and pet my dog.
Is there really that much of a difference?
Well, I guess he's all the same guy.
And now if I was asking the bookbinder, okay. But I'm asking Reid, EST talk show host.
Jets, Maple Leafs.
Yeah, baby.
Because all the people... Not all the people. Let's face it. There is a significant chunk of the fan base that once the Oilers are out will not watch. And I know everybody don't get. I watch all them at time. Okay, settle down. So like I have a cousin. She's 10 years older than me. When the Oilers are in the playoffs, she is watching. She is watching. Like when they got back in the playoffs in 2017, she called me one day. She goes, "Where do I get an orange T-shirt?" Like everybody on my staff is wearing an orange T-shirt. And I'm the only one who's not. I was like, well, you can probably go. And then, she watches the game and gets to know the players. But once the Oilers are out, she's not an NHL fan. She's not a hockey fan. She's an Oilers fan.
Yep.
So don't forget, there are a lot of people like that. So once the Oilers are out, some people aren't going to be that interested. But if it's Leafs, Jets, so first of all, you're guaranteed the Canadian drought is going to end. First time since 93 that a Canadian team would win. Guaranteed that would end. Okay? In this part of the country, a lot of people would not want the Toronto Maple Leafs to win. Just my experience. I haven't done a formal poll.
Do you think Edmonton would become Winnipeg West?
So there you go. So then plucky little Winnipeg, small market, the former WHA city like Edmonton. I know some people don't remember that. Would want if somebody's going to end it, sooner have the Jets than the Leafs. The Smitty the Wilder says, I definitely wouldn't want two Canadian teams in the Cup final. I just think from a talk show perspective, having one Canadian team in it would be interesting. Having two would be pretty incredible. So could Winnipeg cap off this incredible season with a victory? Could the Leafs be the team to end the Canadian drought and get their first title since 1867? Sorry, 1967. It just feels like it's been since 1867.
But who's counting? YYC No Flames for me in the nasty chat. Calgary has 3 games in hand. Why people think they're already cooked?
Because they're 7 points behind the Blues and the Wild.
That's right.
So even if they won all their games in hand, the math still doesn't help them. But, I mean, they do have games in hand, but they're at the point they got to win pretty much all the games.
I think I looked at it, and they almost have to run the table to get in. They have 10 games remaining. I think it was 8-2.
So they can. So you got to look at it this way: Calgary. If Calgary went 10-0, they get to 100 points, right?
Yep.
They probably won't. So let's say they did really well and got to 7-3. That gets them to 94. Minnesota and St. Louis are already both at 87. So they need 4 wins, so they can be a little under 500 and still eliminate Calgary. So that's why.
Well, and they play Las Vegas twice. They play Minnesota once. And they play the Kings once. So that's 4 out of the next. Well, they play the Avalanche tonight, too, in Colorado, which is, spoiler alert.
Prime game.
Going to be my game of the night. But the likelihood of them running the table is slim to nil.
And that's why I say that once you get into March, it's hard to make up even more than 4 points on a team.
April.
Like you have to do, March.
Yeah, true.
You have to do what St. Louis has done. Like, what are they? 13 of their last 15 might even be better than that. I can't remember, but
the playoff stick took a round out of you close as last Friday. You were debating and presenting situations where others might get tight.
But even then, I was admitting that was a worst case scenario for the Oilers with the condition that none of McDavid, Draisaitl, or Ekholm return healthy or don't return at all. But if they would have lost, I mean, there was still basically Vancouver needed to win in regulation and Calgary needed to win in regulation, and then it's tense for the Oilers. But they're going to be fine. They're very likely going to play LA in the first round. So yeah. And that person doesn't actually like the Flames, but they're just saying, well, they're just like, why can't this? I think this person doesn't like the Flames. They just want the Flames to be as heartbroken as possible.
Yes.
So they want them to be within a point with 3 games left and then not get in.
True.
They probably won't be.
Well, wasn't, okay. We were talking on Friday from Sportsnet 960. Name's escaping me.
Pat Steinberg.
And he said that there is trade implications from 2-3 years ago.
Oh yeah, was it the Monahan trade?
Yes,
still
where they, if you are a Flames fan, you should be wanting them to lose most of these games and fall further down, because then that would lead to a better draft pick.
NS Josh in the nasty chat says Ottawa swept the season series versus the Leafs 4-0. Not sure why you think the Leafs would roll them. Yeah, well, you know what, Josh? I didn't know that.
Well, you're just looking at.
I'm just going off the standings. So that's a fair comment. I didn't know that was the season series.
Well, and Big U did say earlier that they've played Toronto tough every time they've played them. So that would be hey, once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I just think, I don't know.
But that is something that is going to become more of a point of concern if the Oilers are, and we'll see. Tomorrow's a big litmus test for this team without Connor, without Ekholm in the lineup, to see what kind of team shows up.
Oh, big time.
But they are still absolutely wanting to have home ice advantage against the Kings in the
I think
first
they
round.
prefer to have it.
Who wouldn't? Look at the Kings. They're 27-4-4 at home.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
That's amazing. It's almost unbelievable.
It is almost unbelievable.
It's almost unbelievable.
If they were undefeated on home ice, that would be unbelievable.
Wouldn't be anymore. Technically, it couldn't.
Yeah, I understand what Kevin Lowe was saying earlier on the show. Be healthy going into the playoffs, and the Oilers maybe have the opportunity to have some guys feeling a little better than they might. I think McDavid will come back fine. I wonder how Ekholm is going to come back, just because it seems to be really nagging. And then he seemed fine and he was back, and then they go to Seattle. Oh, he's not playing. Oh, no, now he's not playing against Calgary. Oh, now he's not even traveling. Like, I get it. Okay, if it was a playoff game, he could be playing, but
not 100%.
But yes. And is he going to get closer to 100%? I don't know.
I did see a quote that suggested that he would. That when he comes back, he will be 100%.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Fired up here for Gemco. By the way, we have over 100 thumbs up on YouTube, so that's pretty good. Let's keep it going. We want to get to ideally we want to get to over 100, and because this factors into the word of the day, which we're going to be doing in a little under an hour. Word of the day is massive, massive fun. Well, not always fun for me. Sometimes it's humiliating.
We could turn the tables if you want once in a while.
Oh, I give you a word?
Sure.
Yeah, I would do that. Not today, though, because I've been... Okay, so on... Yeah, usually in the morning, sometimes like if I'm just having coffee or whatever, I have a little word game run I do on my iPad. Okay. So I do Quirtle.
Is it where it gives you letters and you have to fill in words?
Sort of. You got to put in the 5-letter words. So
Okay.
there's Quirtle, and then there's one called Quirtle Sequence. And I do a trivia game called Tightrope. So you get 9 questions, and if you get 3 wrong, it's like you fall off the tightrope.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some, I should write them down. They have questions where you have to know definitions of words.
Oh.
Yeah. And some of them have been pretty interesting. So I should start writing those down and bring them in and see if I can stump you.
Sure. I'd be game for that.
But I am also fired up for Gemco for the control bracket. So this is how this came to be. We were talking about the NCAA tournament when it was starting, almost 2 weeks ago.
I was away originally when you and Zach came up with this.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize
But I know all
you
about
being
it.
away. We were saying to Coob, why not just pick the favorites? I mean, you should at least do well, even if you don't win. So if you are in our pool on ESPN.com, it's free to enter, by the way. It was free to enter. Reid's control bracket is tied for first place with one simply called Hyman. I'm going to assume it's Matt Hyman and not Zach Hyman. But Coob and I didn't do that. Somebody went in and did it on our behalf and just called it Reid's control bracket. So it's tied for first and
We
has
could
Auburn
technically
winning
take
the whole
credit.
thing.
Oh,
It's our
It's our
idea.
idea,
It'd be
right?
like
Yeah.
we didn't write the screenplay, but we came up with the story. It's like when you watch
Deserves credit,
when
right?
you watch a movie.
Yeah, but
story by, screenplay by.
But you technically still can't because you said you would have taken Duke.
And I did do a control bracket, but you couldn't have more than one in the same pool. So I put Reid and Coob's control in the ESPN bracket, and we're like in the top 3%, but there's millions of entries. But in that one, I took Duke because I use the Associated Press rankings to differentiate between the Final Four. But the person who did Reid's control bracket did it properly. They used what the NCAA ranked them for this tournament, which is why they have Auburn winning the whole thing. Does that make sense? So I'm fired up for that. That's awesome.
I think Auburn and Duke could meet in the final. To be honest, Auburn has been playing great.
Who plays who now? I can't remember.
Auburn's taking on Florida. Duke is taking on Houston.
Okay. Mex says, do you know Octortle, Reid? I also do connections in the morning whenever I remember. I don't do Octortle. I do connections is the first thing that I do. Connections is fun. They give you 16 words on a grid, and you have to select 4 that are in the same category. And then you have to select the next 4, the next 4, and the next 4. It can be very difficult because they do things to mislead you. Can you believe they would
Who
give
would
you...
do such a thing?
Who would give misleading clues?
That's rude. Downright rude.
Yeah. But it's pretty fun.
Rip City Step, imagine how annoying it would be if you're a Sens fan and you finally make the playoffs again. You're so fired up. You can't wait to feel the atmosphere at the long-awaited home playoff game and celebrate your team and franchise turning a corner with a bright future. And then 3/4 of the crowd is Leafs fans.
That's a good point. There'd probably be a lot of Leafs
They
fans
would travel.
in October. Yeah. Jode says, cue the injury excuse when the Oilers get bounced in the first round. Well, look.
I think they're trying to mitigate that right now.
Yeah. And Jodes, I don't know if you're trying to troll us or if you're being funny. Injuries are a factor. Like there's no denying that. Like when I started being a talk show, I'm like, I'm never going to like reference that injuries are a problem. No, injuries are a problem. I mean, Leon Draisaitl didn't score a goal last year in the Stanley Cup final because he had an injury he was playing through. You know, like if he scores, depending when he scores, who knows? So I get it. Maybe you don't want to say, well, injuries are an excuse, but they are a factor. You know, like which year was it that the Kings didn't have Doughty? That was a factor. We talked about it on the Ched broadcast that Doughty wasn't playing, that was an advantage for Edmonton. Now, LA still could have won the series. Edmonton still had to go out and play well to win the series, but that was a factor that the Oilers won the series. So hypothetically, if Connor McDavid didn't play against LA in the first round and LA won, that would be one of the stories. If you had to get me to list off the reasons the Oilers lost, I would say didn't help that they didn't have McDavid. That's just a fact. So
I think this is more the long term over playoffs. You know, when you find out after the fact that Leon was playing with a...
No, but Joe's is just being so negative about everything all the time. Sometimes I just feel like I need to respond. Like, we're not even there yet. But injured players are reasons sometimes that teams don't play as well. And that's what I'm saying. That's like if a star player doesn't play, that affects the course of the series. It doesn't mean that team can't win. It doesn't mean they might be the only reason that it loses, but you know, that would be a reason somebody doesn't do as well.
Well, and let's be clear that the reason for this right now, the reason that McDavid and Ekholm did not make this road trip was to rest and get better. They're trying to mitigate that injury from nagging somebody throughout the entire playoffs. That's the worst case scenario.
Right.
Now that they've done this, they did this last year, and they were hurt. Leon Draisaitl was hurt, right? It's more important for them now to miss these games so that you don't have to say that or have that as what Jode says, an excuse.
Yeah, they've never really talked about McDavid's injury. They've just said lower body, right? They've never given any other information on it. People are asking about that. I don't know what his injury is. I don't have anything firm on that. All right, 780-218-9999 is how you text us. That is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. Luke Pierce, head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings, is coming up in the final hour. We got our game of the night, we got our word of the day, and we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Oil Kings home playoff game tomorrow against PA.
The EST Hangout.
They were in the playoffs for 34 straight years. 06 was the first year they finally missed. If you go 06 to 24, they've hosted 3 playoff games. That's it.
That's unacceptable.
Hey, for this franchise, unacceptable. When you look at 14 and 15, great years, but those are the actual outliers. You take those 2 seasons out, this has been a trash franchise.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
UFC 314 goes down at the Canadian Brewhouse on April 12th. Watch every knockout on the most TVs with epic food and drinks in the best atmosphere. Don't miss the action. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
The The Oilers have signed Ohio State defenseman Damon Kerfonia to a 2-year entry-level contract, with the left-handed shot having 28 points in 38 games this season. And according to Sportico, the NHL and Rogers Communication have agreed to a 12-year TV deal worth $11 billion Canadian, which kicks in for the 2026-27 season. 2 games get underway in just a moment. Minnesota and New Jersey drop the puck, while the Preds and Flyers go head-to-head. After that, the Flames meet the Avs, and the Stars match up against the Kraken. In baseball, the Jays and Nationals are warming up. The Rangers are down 3-0 to the Reds at the top of the second, while at the bottom of the second, the Marlins lead the Mets 1-0. For the Braves, an 80-game suspension without pay has been handed to Jerickson Profar for violating the league's drug policy. 4 games get going in the NBA, including the Kings battling the Pacers and the Clippers duking it out against the Magic. At the World Men's Curling Championship, Canada and Scotland are tied at 5 in the extra end. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Okay, good to have you tuning in this afternoon. 3-0 Canada, 3-0 Scotland. Now in an extra end at the World Curling Championship in Moose Jaw. I missed how Canada was down 5-3 with hammer and 10.
Yeah, Brad Jacobs' final stone, put 2 on the board, going to an extra end. There was a ton of rocks hanging out in the rings, the key lime rings. And he was able to send this to extra ends.
All right, so Canada will have to steal here to win. If you are on YouTube, keep clicking away with the thumbs up. We're a couple dozen away from 130. Let's get there first, and then we'll push to get to 155. Dustin, I'm going to open that on air.
Well, he's opening it.
Oh, you're opening it. Oh, sorry. Okay, well you. Okay, so I said we should have Coke for the staff meeting. So there's Coke Zero, which I don't even know if I've had Coke Zero. What's the shtick with Coke Zero?
Zero sugar.
Zero personality? Should be called Coca-Wanic.
I like it.
So, yeah, we're going to open this on air. Oh, is it going to explode?
That would be funny.
Just get covered in pop. Oh, there's gas coming out.
There's no sugar, so it shouldn't be
that's
sticky.
That's the Coke bottle, everybody, not J or I. So, because we had a staff meeting at 6 o'clock. I think, are we getting Popeye's chicken?
TBD, bro.
And I said to Dustin, it's nice to have a 2-liter Coke. Just people can pour a little bit in the glass for us. So Jay and I have these tiny plastic glasses. I better pass it to you because if I try to pour over the microphone, it could wind up being a disaster. So I'll try. I think this is my first time trying Coke Zero.
Here, Dusty. All right.
Oh, it's all right. It doesn't have quite the zing that Coke regular does.
All the way.
Hey, that's just Dustin Nielsen, everybody. 6 to 9. By the way, Dustin, I was a little dismayed this morning because I was taking in your show, and you have that "Makes My Day" clip at the end of the snow report, and somebody writes in the nasty chat, "Where does "Make My Day" come from?" Makes my day, and I put in, I get 5 cents every time that's played. I did see that. And then somebody was like, yeah, it's Dirty Harry. No, it's not Dirty Harry.
It's not. It's
me.
Reid. It's a Reid original.
Dirty Harry is Go Ahead, Make My Day, which I have right here.
Go ahead, make my day.
Mine is Makes My Day, which was from a Dunk video, and none of the nasties were like, oh, wait, that's actually Reid's soundbite. So somebody now listens to your show, doesn't know this show or I or Jay exist, and thinks that soundbite is Clint Eastwood, but it's actually me.
I'll clarify it tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be better. We should find the original dunk. It'll be on our highlights on our Instagram feed.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
That was a Reid original.
Coke Zero?
Coke Zero?
It's refreshing.
My cousin
this is all I
swears
need.
by
This is all I need. I don't drink a can of Coke. I don't drink a full glass of Coke. It's almost just like a little dessert for me.
I would like this on ice. Coca-Cola on ice. I don't know if there's any beverage that beats it. Right? Just a cool, crisp Coke on ice.
Yeah, there are beverages that beat it, but yeah, when it's a refreshing yet quite unhealthy beverage.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not drinking it a lot. I mean, I know my cousin drinks about this much a day of Coke Zero.
That can't be healthy, can it?
I don't know. He's a very in shape fella.
Make it so, number one.
What are we even doing? That's a good question.
Well, what are we doing right now? We're doing our show.
Yeah, but what are we supposed to... we got to give away tickets.
Well, I think Jodes is saying that the team would use injuries as an excuse, not us as broadcasters. That's why I was pushing back on Jodes.
Okay.
I think maybe he's saying that the Oilers would come out and use injuries. Because I'll talk about whatever I think was a factor in the series, injuries included.
Well,
it doesn't mean it's an excuse. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. If you're listening on an audio stream, such as iHeartRadio, such as TuneIn Radio,
just give somebody you're driving by a thumbs up.
Yeah, but you can still favorite our station on those apps, right? So it shows up right away. You don't have to search for it every time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what
they
I
should
did
show
on
up in your feed.
Yeah.
Wherever you get your podcast.
So however you're consuming the station, click away, give it the thumbs up. It is time for our game of the night for Play More tables and games, from ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey. What do we have, the thing? Plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's Game Room experts.
Play more tables and games.
Locations in Edmonton or Calgary, or online at playmoregames.ca.
You know, Dusty's rarely here during the show.
Like never.
To hear. Well, I wouldn't be either. I mean, he's got to be here at 5 a.m.
Ish.
But I wonder how often he gets to hear his beautiful pipes bellowing out the play more tables and games. Right?
That's a good point. You go.
It is nice. Okay. Elite Eight. Women's NCAA Elite Eight continues tonight.
I thought you were picking Jets, Flames, or whatever.
You are. I'm sure.
I'm picking mine on the fly.
I usually have to
I'm picking the curling. It's in the 11th.
Yeah, well, it's a game of the night, Reid, not the game of the afternoon. Elite Eight, USC versus UConn, and then Texas taking on TCU. I believe that game is tipped off already. The USC Connecticut. Maddie's favorite team, UConn.
He likes University of Connecticut basketball?
Yeah, women's basketball.
Women's basketball? I did not know that. I have learned something, yet another fact about Iwanek that I didn't need to know. Okay, so my game of the night you picked for me?
I guess so.
Is Calgary, Colorado?
Yeah, well, it should be.
Not Nashville, Philly?
Paige Beckers is
Predators are eliminated.
Player.
By the way, the Predators have been eliminated from the playoffs. So now my Stanley Cup prediction is officially wrong.
It's officially dead.
Even though we knew it was on about November 10th.
Yeah. What are they going to look
Predators
back and
over
say?
Panthers. And you had Jets over Panthers?
Jets over Devils.
Oh, Jets over Devils. Yeah, you really went out there, eh? Good for you, Jay.
Thanks.
Good for you. That sounded so awful. Good for you, Jay. You picked a team.
You, little Jay.
Oh, you realize the Devils are a team.
Now, how many
Good.
Stanley Cups did Kevin Lowe win? Okay, yes, yes. For those that don't know, that maybe you were just catching up to us late, I said he had. I meant to say he had 5 Stanley Cups as an Oiler, because we're talking about the Oilers.
Yeah, you said
not
5 times
not the
Stanley Cup
Rangers.
champion.
Yeah, so somebody corrected me, and Kevin Lowe,
whatever,
was a true professional, and now I can call him my friend.
That's very emotional for all of us.
Okay, we got to give away some tickets.
We're doing it right now.
Let's do it.
All right. So we are giving away 2 tickets to see the Oil Kings host Prince Albert tomorrow in Game 3 of their first round playoff series. It is 1-1. They split the first 2 games on the road. And you must text in your answer to 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Luke Pierce, the head coach of the Oil Kings, is going to join us in about 5 to 8 minutes to tell you a little bit more about the series. What other Western Hockey League team was Luke Pierce the head coach of? You must get the full name of the team, okay?
I like
the full name of the team.
I'll be keeping tabs.
And Jay's going to keep an eye on that. 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. I would think this will go pretty quickly, probably before Luke is on the air. I would hope, but we'll see.
Hey, let me ask you something. When you were at 6:30 Ched, did you guys have because I think we have staff meetings here, once every month? Sure.
Yeah.
For sure a couple months, but usually I think month-ish.
No, there weren't staff meetings.
No.
Not really. Sometimes there might be a gathering or something, but there weren't really like scheduled formal staff meetings that I can remember. Maybe I just didn't show up. maybe I wasn't told about them. Hey guys, did anybody invite Reid to the staff meeting? No, we didn't. We didn't tell him about it.
Yeah, it was not the Savannah Bananas.
No, I don't think that team was in the dub. Nobody's got it yet?
Yes, we just got it.
Okay, who got it?
Barry the Cheater.
Barry the Cheater gets 2 tickets to the playoff game tomorrow at Rogers Place. Oil Kings against the Prince Albert Raiders. What other Western Hockey League team was Luke Pierce the head coach of? And the answer is
Kootenay Ice.
The Kootenay Ice. Where were they before that?
Right here.
Yeah, it was the Edmonton Ice, then the Kootenay Ice, then the Winnipeg Ice.
Yeah.
And now it's the Wenatchee Wild. Yeah. So Barry the Cheater is going to the game, or giving the tickets away, donating them to somebody. Don't sell them. You wouldn't do that, would you? No, it's probably not a big resell for Oil Kings tickets. By the way, I want to make sure I got the information right. Wednesday's game 4 will be Wiener Wednesday at Rogers Place. $2 hot dogs. I think
That's
the
a
Oil
good
Kings
deal.
are going to win that series.
At $2 a hot dog, what are you getting when you order? You're not getting one.
Oh, how many are you getting? Yeah, you probably get 2. I don't know if I could eat more than 2, though.
I don't know if I'd want to eat more than 2.
Yeah, like hot dogs are one of those foods you really like them, but you don't need to have too much of them.
You probably don't need that many of them.
Last week we had Manny Viverios on the show, head coach of the Vancouver Giants, and Brad Lauer on the show, the head coach of the Spokane Chiefs, both with connections to Edmonton. They are playing each other in the first round. This was the series. Spokane has home ice advantage, but had to start on the road because of the NCAA women's tournament being in Spokane. So Spokane went into Vancouver and won 4-1 and 7-5. Jay and I did joke there might be an 8-6 game in this series. It didn't quite get there. It was 7-5. So Spokane comes home with a 2-0 series lead. The next 3 games are scheduled for Spokane.
And I'm happy about that because they did, they got kicked out of their home arena. They had home ice advantage.
Well, they weren't like kicked out.
Sure they were. The women's regionals were there last weekend. That's getting kicked out. My wife couldn't believe it when I told her that.
What do you mean? She didn't believe it. That the
Spokane
She thought you were making it
would
up?
take their first 2 games of which they should have played at home on the road to their opponent and essentially flip-flop the series.
Yeah, but they would have known that all season long.
I suppose
that coincides with potentially having home ice advantage. But now they can sweep it on home ice or win 2 of the next 3 on home ice and finish it off.
I think they will.
Jordan Osterley, by the way, playing his 400th game tonight for the Nashville Predators, former Edmonton Oiler. That is amazing he's been going that long because he was a bit of a fringe defenseman and he was on some Oilers teams that weren't the caliber of these ones. I don't know what the regular price of a hot dog is at Rogers Place, Jodes, but they're $2 on Wednesday. That's why it's special. They'd probably be at least $5, if not more.
Nothing's that.
Yeah,
$5 there.
Nothing's $5. Not even
Twizzlers. Twizzlers are $8. Seriously,
1 Twizzler, 1 nib.
Now, if you broke it down to individual, maybe there's a side market there. There's a black market Twizzler sales guy under the escalator.
Right. Hey, opens up his jacket. He's got all these different Twizzlers.
I'll take 3
in little pockets.
That'll be $3.50.
I give you 5 for 20 cents.
5 for 5. 5 for 5.
All right, we are in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. The wing battle, the wing throwdown all month long at Canadian Brewhouse has been Fuego Verde versus Honey Blaze. Who's taking the crown? You can hit up the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night, 69 cents. Our house is your house. And don't forget UFC 314 going down at the Canadian Brewhouse on April 12th. Catch the action on the most TVs with epic food and drinks. Don't miss it. Our house is your house. Thumbs up. Keep clicking away on YouTube. We are, what are we, about 12 away? About 15. Oh, no, we're less than that. Oh, we're single digits away from 130. I was trying to remember where we're trying to get to. Jay will give me the word, possibly the words of the day in about half an hour. Little more on the Edmonton Oil Kings head coach Luke Pierce when we get back to Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
22-year-old Ohio State defenseman Damon Kerfonia has signed a 2-year entry-level contract with the Oilers. The left-handed shot is 26th in Big Ten scoring this season with 28 points in 38 games. And according to Sportico, the NHL and Rogers Communications have agreed to a 12-year TV deal worth $11 billion Canadian, which kicks in for the 2026-27 season. 4 games are on tap, 2 of which are live. Minnie and New Jersey are going at it while the Predators take on the Flyers, having both games scoreless midway through the first. And later it's Calgary on the road in Denver and Seattle hosting Dallas. 4 games are live in the MLB. Toronto and Washington are scoreless at the bottom of the first. The Rangers trail the Reds 6-0 at the bottom of the second, while the Marlins are up 1-0 on the Mets at the top of the third. And for the Braves, Jerickson Profar has been suspended 80 games without pay for violating the league's drug policy. Right now, in the NBA, the Jazz are down 18-8 to the Hornets. The Pacers lead the Kings 16-6, while the Clippers are just up 1 point on the Magic. With 4 games live, all of those ones midway through the first. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. And Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or call them at 780-467-5014. Oil Kings head coach Luke Pierce joins Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne after a quick timeout. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Darren Dreger for our great partners over at Pro-Am Sports.
Just acknowledge the definition of the Hart Trophy, most valuable to your team. Right now, that's Leon Draisaitl. I think about where Winnipeg would be without the heroics of Connor Hellebuyck. That's where it gets a little bit greasy. We still have enough time between now and when we have to submit our ballots to make that tough call. And it is going to be a tough one.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you? Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Missing the course? The Canadian Ice House is here to keep your skills sharp. Trackman golf simulators are open. Real golf action right in downtown Edmonton. Don't let the off-season slow you down. Visit us in-store or check out thecanadianicehouse.com for all the details.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
A one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Mics are hot. So's your voice, Coob. Hey? Complimenting the Coob. He's really coming along, isn't he? I mean, I didn't... Okay, maybe that wasn't the best way to do it. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. If you are on YouTube, keep giving us a thumbs up. We're 1 thumb away from 130, which is Word of the Day territory. So we're 26 away from double Word of the Day territory. I'm not sure what people are waiting for. Get in there and click the thumbs up. Canada loses in 11 ends, 6-5 to Scotland at the Men's World Curling Championship in Moose Jaw. So the Jacobs rink with St. Albert's Mark Kennedy at third is now 3-1. Canada will play 3-1 Sweden tomorrow. Travel day for the Edmonton Oilers. They play Vegas tomorrow at 8, 7 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. And also tomorrow night, going to be a good atmosphere, a great atmosphere at Rogers Place. The Oil Kings are back home for Game 3 of the series. We've given away 3 pairs of tickets now.
Yeah,
over the last 2 shows here on the Reid Wilkins show. So there'll be some EST fans there cheering on the Edmonton Oil Kings as well. And the Oil Kings are, of course, coached by Luke Pierce. Luke, welcome back to the show. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Reid. Thanks for having me. Great.
Thanks for taking time to join us. I know it's a busy time. I'm going to ask you something here because I have noticed from covering the Oilers in the National Hockey League for a while now that the rhythm of the season changes a little bit in the postseason. The practices maybe aren't as frequent and aren't as long. Do you change sort of what you're asking of your athletes on off days when you get into the WHL playoffs, on non-game days, I should say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's us trying to set these guys up to be pros. And, we have the luxury of, having the environment here that we just see how they go about it across the hall. And, for me, learning from Brad Lauer too, it was really brought a pro atmosphere to this organization. And we try to replicate it as much as we can. So we're asking our guys obviously to be mature about how they go about their off days and yeah, trying to be as efficient as possible on the days that we do skate like today. And I think the guys would always love to be shorter, but there's some things we got to work on. So.
All right, so you go into PA, you win Game 1, 3-1 on Friday. They bounce back with a 6-1 win on Saturday. I know just from looking at the box scores and talking to a couple people about this series, so there were the teams that had more power plays lost both the games. Kind of counterintuitive, I guess. So the PKs must have been sharp, or were the power plays maybe not clicking?
Yeah, I thought Game 1 wasn't a lot of special teams, but yeah, we were really sharp on our penalty kill, I thought, and probably a couple that we didn't like as far as the calls go. Undisciplined by us, and then I thought Saturday the majority of those calls come when the game's a little bit out of hand, and I thought they were trying to set a tone, obviously, and I think 5 of those power plays come in the third period, and a couple of those you're resting some guys and using some different bodies. So I liked our looks. I thought we had some really good chances, and we've got to get a little bit greasier around the net, I think, and the goaltender obviously played really well, but it's certainly got to be an area for us that is improved here, improve our fortunes in the series that way.
Luke, I wanted to ask you about, you get players at a really young age, and, sometimes you can keep them 3-4 years, but when a player comes in and let's say as young as 16 or 17 and they are a certain character or this kind of person in the locker room, do you see or have you seen over their tenure as a player under, whether it's with the Oil Kings or other stops, that they've changed? Or is it generally that's a player you get, they just grow and mature a bit? Or have you seen wholesale changes from some of these players over the years?
Yeah, I would say you see both. I mean, some guys come in and are a little bit more mature at that age. So I think of a Jake Neighbors that came here at 16. I mean, when he left here at 19, he was kind of the same kid. I mean, a little bit, obviously, a little more well-rounded, but overall he was what he was. And but you get other guys. I think the guys are a little bit maybe not as mature age-wise and still developing, or maybe just different backgrounds that they certainly come out of their shell. And you can see a major transformation. I mean, that 16 to 19, 20 is a massive growth time for them, both physically and, from a maturity standpoint. So it's fun seeing them. I mean, I think of a Carter Such as a great example, came at 16, left here at 20, and, he was certainly a man when he left, and you even see it now with some of the young guys. I mean, Josh Lee, our 16-year-old defenseman, started the year, it would have been hard to get him to say a word. Now he's the life of our room at times. So it's a pretty neat thing to watch.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to have some of your players on our show. We've had Joe Aginla, Adam Yeko, Grayson Sachin. They've all appeared, and they all have their own unique personalities, obviously. But out of those 3 players that have been on the Reid Wilkins show, which would you say would be best suited to come on this side of the camera and sit in one of these chairs at some point in their careers?
Oh, well, you'd have a lot of fun with Joe. There's no question. He's got a lot of personality. He's very sharp. He doesn't miss much at all. And really intelligent kid. And he's a good conversation. There's no question. And I mean, all those guys, Adam's, he's one of those guys that's a lot more mature and beyond his years. And Grayson is what he is. I mean, he says what he thinks, and he's very direct, and there's not a lot of messing around. So they'd all be good at it in their own ways. But I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Joe. He'd give you a lot of entertainment.
He's very comfortable being interviewed. I still say when I was on my previous show, I think you guys drafted him, and I said, what excites you about playing in Edmonton? And he said, well, I'm glad I didn't get picked by one of the teams in the middle of nowhere. Your media relations guy at the time, who's now moved on to the Oilers, texted me after. He goes, good interview. You'll need some coaching maybe about how to approach comments on other markets. But he was very honest. What are you expecting? Back home, the Oil Kings fans are great. Edmonton's always at the top in attendance. Can you guys thrive on the energy that's going to be there tomorrow and Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, we've been really fortunate recently. I mean, we played in front of some massive crowds. I don't anticipate our crowds being as large as they have been here down the stretch, but hopefully regardless, I mean, even if it's 5,000-6,000, it's a great atmosphere. And I think that it changes the dynamic a bit being at home, just that the Art Hauser in Prince Albert is a different building, and everything just feels a little bit tighter and smaller. And for us and the way our game is played and the skill that we have, I think opening things up a little bit more will certainly benefit us. And having that extra boost from our home fans is going to be really big. But I expect, like all series long with these guys and all season, really close games that come down to a couple of mistakes.
All right, Luke, we really appreciate you taking time for us here. I know it's busy. I know you got a lot of prep to do and video to watch and all that fun stuff that coaches do that a lot of people don't see. But glad you got the split. Hope these two home games are excellent for you. And I hope we're talking to you and your players for more rounds to come after this one. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, Reid. Nice to have a break from the video, like you said. So I appreciate you having me.
Right on. Luke Pierce, head coach of your Edmonton Oil Kings. Check again. So we gave away the tickets for tomorrow's game, and it's funny. Somebody just posted in the chat, are the Oil Kings good this year? Well, the Oil Kings are. They were 7th out of 11 teams in the Eastern Conference. They were 37, 27, and 4, and they are playing Prince Albert, who's the number 2 seed, but only 6 points ahead of the Oil Kings. So this is not a series in which you would say the Oil Kings are a huge underdog. Guy Flaming thought the Oil Kings could win the series. I picked them going off Guy's recommendation, picking the Oil Kings in 6. So they got a pretty good team. They're not there's ebbs and flows in junior hockey. They're not as good as when they had Jake Neighbors and Dylan Gunther, a couple players that Luke referenced, but they're building up after a couple tough years. I mean, Everett's the number 1 team in the league. They won 48 out of 68 games. Spokane's up there with 45 wins. Medicine Hat and Calgary had the most wins in the Eastern Conference. So I would say the Oil Kings are a solid team. Maybe still the best still to come from this group, but they definitely got a chance here with against PA.
Well, and Everett's tied up right now with that series with Seattle. Would you say that's the Subway series of Seattle, or because Everett's just
to the south, yeah? Or is Everett?
I thought it's north of Seattle downtown.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, shows you what. Oh, yeah, Everett's north. Well, it's Tacoma that's the south, right? That's why they call it SeaTac, the airport.
Never failed to impress me, Reid.
Well, I didn't know where Everett was. I think I've been to Everett. Yeah, Everett's north of Seattle. Where's Tacoma? Oh, yeah, Tacoma's south of Seattle. Yeah, because the airport is isn't it between Seattle and Tacoma?
Yeah, they share the same major airport. SeaTac. You're right.
Yeah. Not as dumb as I look. You know why, Coop?
Because you can't look.
No one could be that dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, good to have Luke Pierce on the show. Glad to hear the Oil Kings still getting a lot of support, and people are excited for the game tomorrow. Keep giving us the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. We will have one word of the day If we get 20 more thumbs, we'll have a double word of the day.
Yeah.
So don't delay. You can text us 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Our off-topic topic for William Huff got a lot of conversation going today. Moving etiquette. At what point should you hire movers as opposed to asking friends or family? Is it based on age, how much stuff you have, your marital status, your income, all that kind of stuff? I think the one thing that people agreed on, though, is if you are asking other people to help you move, be packed. I mean, basically treat them like you hired, because if you hired movers, you wouldn't dare think, oh, I'm not going to have everything ready to go.
Well, they clearly outlined that in the contract that everything
I think
needs
there's
to be,
like, if stuff wasn't boxed, they wouldn't touch it.
They won't touch it.
I mean, other than a lamp or something like that. But other than that, like they wouldn't.
Bigger items,
They wouldn't
they'll
say, oh,
wrap.
just grab the dishes out of the cupboard. They'd be like, no, sorry. So I think we sort of.
Well, Mike from Calgary made a good point too, and this is kind of the I think the general sentiment. Okay, when you were younger, whomever had the truck to help. First home, we've helped all of our friends. Second home / house, you're on your own.
Oh, I see. So the first time you own property, let's make an event out of it.
Kind of, because it's exciting. You're moving out. It's your first place. You know, that's that sort of thing.
I'm still iffy on that one. That's interesting, but I don't know if I would go for that.
The word home is what muddies the waters on that. If you're buying a home.
But somebody made a good point, though. If you're buying, you should be able to hire movers.
You should.
Now we're talking beyond. I think when we say family, though, we're talking beyond parents and siblings, or siblings even be included in this. Parents for sure are going to find a way to help one way or the other.
Well,
like my parents would.
Yeah, but do you really want your parents, like, you know, when they're
no? But when I moved the last time,
obligated.
my parents were still there on moving day, and then my previous house, there was some stuff in the basement that didn't get moved, and Dad and I went and donated and threw stuff out after the fact.
Yeah, like siblings are almost obligated. You're going to help,
or you're
in the area,
or they're going to help with things that come up that are happen around moving. Like, okay, we got to maybe clean a little bit or wipe out the cupboards or do the carpets. You know, but you wouldn't necessarily ask your friends to do that. So family would be involved maybe in that.
Sure. That's fair.
But yeah, I would say, I would even say once you're in your 30s, even if you're moving apartments, even if there's an ownership involved, like, why are you not hiring movers?
30s, though, you could still be, a little too young to be able to afford that.
Yeah.
You may have done everything you can just to get a dang mortgage.
True.
Right? I mean, I'm not opposed to helping. Well, Coob, like, you're in the wheelhouse of...
Yeah, you're a young...
strapping young lad. Have you helped friends move?
I've helped one specific friend move a few times.
Ooh, no.
Like his family moves from here and there. And, they've moved probably, I think once like 3 times in like 6 years, which is quite a lot in a
him
6
or
years
his
span.
family?
Him and his family all together. And they've, being the good friend
parents his parents are adults.
Yeah.
Yes. But
and they're asking you to move.
Yeah, well, this was a few years ago. He's my best friend.
They've never hired movers?
They've hired my dad, who is actually in the moving business.
Yeah.
He is a mover.
Oh,
That is true.
Oh, so it's different for you.
So you were there
hired-
kind of by 2 different associations, oddly enough.
Yeah, once I was there when they wanted to cheap out a little bit, maybe, just get their own U-Haul and make their move themselves, which I was the best friend where, my friend asked me, hey, could you help me? And I wasn't going to leave him out to dry. Like I hung with this guy every weekend, and it turned out the weekend that we usually hang out in, he was going to move. So I'm like, fine, why not? Like, I'm not doing anything else. Then the other time it was my dad moving him, which, was a mover, and I helped out then. But no, I don't like helping other people.
Okay.
Well, I do, but not moving.
I mean, a buddy just texted me reminding me that I actually did help him move some stuff a couple years ago when he moved. But it was very focused. Like he said, I got to move some of this stuff on this day. Can you help me and put some stuff in your vehicle? And to that, I said yes. And it is very much, I showed, and this buddy is very organized. And I showed up and he was like, these are the things that are going. They should all fit in your car. They did. We went to his new place because they had they have an overlap, and we carried him in. And then he was like, you are dismissed, Wilkie.
I like that.
Yes.
And it is situational.
It wasn't like, we also have to strap this couch on top of your car. Like he was very.
I think once one of your friends is married with kids, like you've got to cross him off the list of mover helpers, or at least move him to the bottom. That's a desperate call. You're asking them to take a day.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever ask anybody. Like I said, I asked for help for a couple of very specific things when I moved, just because I wanted to do it myself instead of having movers. But like the big stuff, the stuff that's going to take hours, I wouldn't ask friends to do that anymore.
Always gets me, that one.
All right, travel day for the Oilers. So who didn't travel? Stuart Skinner, Ekholm, McDavid. We'll see if they maybe join them later on.
But you know who did travel?
Kane and Frederick.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, Kane's not going to play till the playoffs, as we know. Frederick, I doubt, plays on this trip, but it's good he's getting a little bit closer. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube. Basically a dozen more, and we're in double word of the day territory. Here comes the Coob with your final sports update of the afternoon.
.22-year-old Damon Kerfonia has signed a 2-year entry-level contract with the Oilers. The left-handed defenseman from Ohio State is second on his team in defensive scoring with 28 points in 38 games this season. And according to Sportico, the NHL and Rogers Communication have agreed to a 12-year TV deal worth $11 billion Canadian, which kicks in for the 2026-27 season. And 4 games on tap, 2 of which are live. Luke Hughes finding the back of the net. 1-0 for the Devils against the Wild, while it's scoreless between Nashville and Philly. Both games nearing the end of 20 minutes. And 4 games are live in the MLB. The Jays are up 1-0 on the Nationals at the top of the third. The Mets and Marlins are locked at 1 apiece at the bottom of the fourth, while the Pirates and Rays are scoreless at the top of the third. Meanwhile, Atlanta's Jerickson Profar has been suspended 80 games without pay for violating the MLB performance-enhancing drug policy. Right now in the NBA, 5 games are live, including the Hornets leading 30-26 on the Jazz, Sacramento trailing 31-28 to Indiana, and the Magic up 28-22 on the Clippers, with all those games in the second quarter. And Sham Charania of ESPN has reported that the New Orleans Pelicans have shut down Zion Williamson's season due to injuries. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Well, the Popeyes is here. We can smell it, but we can't eat it yet. Big staff meeting at 6 o'clock. All right. We will have our word of the day in about
I think we're gonna get
6
two.
minutes. Oh, yeah.
I think we're going to get
I think
two.
we should get to 2. What do we need for clickies here?
Not much.
We need, 8 more about?
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
I still find it odd that I did that. Why would I do that?
Because you're Reid.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
And you're funny.
Well, sometimes. Sometimes we're funny together.
I'm going to give you Oh, no. That's from your song.
Women love.
When are we going to go on tour? It's actually not bad.
No, we sound exactly like Hart, I think. Mex says, have you started watching The Studio? It's like Birdman for movie studio execs. First I've heard of it, Mex. I'm sorry.
That's with the Canadian actor.
Mike Myers?
No, he's the funny guy, Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth Rogen.
I think he's the studio head.
Oh, neat.
And it's, I think it's got a lot of cameos, a lot of highfalutin celebrities.
What's it on?
I don't know. One of those streaming services, Reid.
One of those that are going to be extinct someday.
Bronco Nick, day after I was married, I moved myself from my parents' house. Only clothes and my PlayStation. I left everything else there. It's all still at my parents'. It's been 15 years.
Oh, wow. That's Mike the Michigan fan?
No, that's Bronco Nick.
Oh, Bronco Nick. Sorry. Okay.
Timber Woodsman. My wife and I moved almost 6 years ago now from a townhouse into a house. And if we ever moved again, we are getting movers.
Yeah, it's worth it, baby.
I think so.
Yeah, it's like mine were well under, I think. Or maybe I just was like, I'm going to suck it up and pay for it. That's why I'm maybe underestimating the price. But I feel like it was money well spent.
Sure.
Like when you see the guy carrying in the beer fridge over his shoulder with just one hand propping it up, you're like, yeah, that's fine. I'm glad he's doing that. And I tell him, oh yeah, that's going up. Or they're bringing in the bookcase that's going upstairs. Yeah, it's all worth it.
I'm going to give you a layup for one of the words.
Okay. By the way,
that.
Okay, so let's get the double word. Oh, we need like 5 more thumbs. So we'll say we're there because sometimes thumb, but keep clicking away because it helps build the algorithm for the show. The Coob, Zachary Kubish, our technical producer and sports update deliverer. What's going on with you? You have some content coming up tonight?
Yeah, I kind of, I guess, drop some little info. I wouldn't say little. It's a pretty big thing that I've been working on. You could say it's a bit of a passion project, but with the VIP golf show coming up starting May 4th, I'm producing the show, and I was a producer of it last season as well, but I have a terrible, terrible golf game, and Murray McCord is a very generous person, so he got me in touch with a golf professional, and I guess I'm starting my journey of kind of getting better at my game, kind of polishing. Well, not polishing. There's a lot more than having to be polished. Chiseling out my golf game a little bit with the baby steps, and a series that I'm dubbing Breaking 100 is going to be airing tonight on the EST YouTube channel.
At what time?
I think about 8 o'clock. I have it, I guess, premiering for.
So this is you basically getting golf lessons?
Me getting golf
So are
lessons.
you in a
talking
sim?
about
You
it?
must be in a sim for this one?
Yeah, I was in a sim.
Now, what is did you golf regularly?
Yeah. What's
what's your background?
Like, what are you shooting on average?
Anything from, I don't know, 150 to 180. I don't even know.
Wow,
I don't even know what my
horrifically
score is,
terrible.
but it's
horrifically
The good
terrible.
I've only played 3
Like,
times,
I'm
right?
a terrible golfer. That is like you should be banished to another planet. Like you should be exiled from planet Earth.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Murray got so fed up with how bad I am at golf and how proud I am of my terrible game that he had to get me in check. In line.
So do you like golfing?
I do like golfing.
Do you get frustrated?
All the time. Yeah, but I have fun with it because I know I'm not good, but I like hitting the driving range. I was watching some of the YouTube videos and stuff because I'm cheap. I didn't dish out any of the money to try and, meet with a real golf professional. But I was trying to take those steps on my own. It didn't really work out. So Murray's like, hey, man, with your thrifted clubs, $4.50 or whatever from Valley Village, we'll try and get you with somebody to try and.
So has the entire series been shot, or are we going to follow you all summer?
It'll be a project. Only the first episode has been, I guess, filmed. I've only met with him one time, but he gave me some homework and some, things to work on before our next meeting.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So tonight at 8 on the YouTube channel, and then people can just watch whenever they want after the fact.
Right, and
well, good for you, man.
Cam was very nice.
I like golf. I'm pretty bad at it, but I made an effort to improve. I got some lessons from Taylor Sinsky at the quarry, and then I golf more regularly, and I got better. But then the problem with golf is when you get better, then you realize how much more you still have to get better.
Yeah,
and you start seeing all the even more of the shots that you could improve on.
I would say the difference from you going from, say, 150 to 100 is going to, the work is going to be a lot easier than from you saying going from 100 to 80.
Oh, much.
I think the improvement will go like this, and then will somewhat level off. It's going to be more of a dog fight.
Because you'll start being more in play and just hitting,
So
and that's
judging by the name, the goal is to play around and break 100 as the score.
And that's very generous.
You'll have done that by the end of June. If not the end of May.
Have you seen
that's
his
pretty
swing?
generous. I mean, I think Maddie on the Hangout one day said that's
But if you're shooting 150, like
golfers
I'm guessing you're not actually shooting 150. You're probably shooting 120 or 125.
No,
that's not true.
But he's barely making contact if he's shooting 150.
That's the problem.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the thing. Yeah, I picked up the
Like,
first time I picked up a golf club.
Do you
was
close your
probably last
eyes
summer.
when you swing?
Very well
No, I
could.
look off at the sun or whatever.
Are you
like
aiming
Galileo.
at?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the serious question here before we get to word of the day. Maddie did put a limit of questions on for the staff meeting tonight. It's called the Coob rule. It was put in place for you. Are you going to stay within, what was it, 5?
Nobody has spoken to me about this. Not Maddie
maybe it's in the meeting minutes.
or Dusty. So maybe it'll be a precursor to the meeting. I've only heard it from other EST employees, but not from.
Are you prepared to have your questions limited?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to
think
play by the rules,
in
right?
in your situation, I would say you sometimes need to take your cues from the more experienced staff members as to the pacing of the meeting and frequency of the questions.
Like, look at Eric. You wouldn't even know he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a pro. He
is a pro.
He already knows a lot of the things that I was asking. So maybe I could word the questions that's like not a question. So like when you go to Leon, so you played a good game tonight, Leon.
Breaking 100.
No,
is
you're
this
not
about
asking
Zach's golf game or the number of questions he's asking?
Oh, my goodness.
That comes in from Rip City Step.
All right, double word of the day. We're pretty much there.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they gotta say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
Okay, the first word of the day. I did say I was going to give you a little bit of a layup here. Penchant. Penchant is the first word of the day.
Penchant. It means you have sort of an inclination for something, or that you have sort of a natural ability for it. Like,
let's start with the spelling.
Pencha. Oh, sorry. So I got the spelling right. And the definition, I mean, it's basically that you're kind of good at something. That you have an inclination to be, not an inclination, that you have an ability to do something well. Like I have a penchant for spelling.
Yeah. Penchant refers to a strong liking for something or a strong tendency to behave in a certain way. Like my penchant for mathematics helped me become an engineer.
Riding the Pine says, leave the guy alone. He's learning. Actually, he'll learn quicker if I don't leave him alone.
Fair point. The second word of the day, elucubrate. Elucubrate.
Elucubrate?
Yeah.
Elucubrate. No, that can't be right. Can you say it again?
Elucubrate.
Okay. Well, I'll go just with how it sounds. Elucubrate.
So close.
Tuba guys right there already.
Elucubrate.
That's what I wrote.
One letter. I must have misheard it. My apologies.
Maybe I could have said it wrong.
My
I can't
apologies.
take it anymore.
Elucubrate. I've never heard this word. I'm going to say, I don't think it has to do with electricity. It could have to do with pronunciation, maybe? No. I'm going to say, oh, wow. Is it a process or something? I'm going to say it's a
verb.
It is a verb. I'm going to say it is the process of whitening something.
Oh, it is a process of something to produce something by long and intensive effort. Elucubrate.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
So you could say that if you took you years to write a novel or something like that.
Yes.
Maybe Zach breaking 100.
Yeah, it was an elucubrating process.
That's incredible. All right, we got to go to our staff meeting. Thanks a lot for checking out the show today. We had Kevin Lowe on earlier. If you missed that, go back and watch it on YouTube or go find us on one of our streaming services or on the wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, sorry,
Luke Pierce from the Oil Kings was on as well. We had a lot of great discussion about Leon Draisaitl and etiquette for helping or not helping your friends move. On behalf of the Coop and the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Talk to you tomorrow.